Hello guys, I'm running a bit late, so I'll leave you just with a count for a moment. Okay, sorry for being late, guys. Just setting up so that I can see the chat and I'll board now. So hopefully cam quality is better today. We see d4, d5. Okay, so Anna-Maja is black as is playing against an opponent from the Faroe Islands. That's all I was able to check. Okay, let me set up. Okay, d4, d5, knight f3, knight f6. Chess.com didn't lag, so must would be here quicker. Okay. Hello guys, now I can see chat. I think, at least, yeah. I'll be with you. I was just running a bit late. So reading the board and a lot. Don't worry, I have all the moves written down. All right. Now the final thing is the shot of my camera. Yeah, to set it up, I have to connect it first. Yeah, that's a good idea, probably. Hello. Okay. Now you should be able to see me. I guess everything is fine. Let me move this a little bit so you can see. You can see more of our streamer in the pink outfit today. Okay, it's nice. It's nice and bright. Camera, hopefully no issues today. And I've missed some moves. C3, I believe, and knight C6. Okay. So let me make those. Okay. Thank you for bearing with me. Pink outfit and Burberry shoes. Really? Didn't see the shoes. I was too busy setting up. Mr. Duda, not quite, but okay, we'll roll with that, I guess. So yeah, Anna's opponent is Thomas Solskjaer from the Faroe Islands. Not sure if it's any relation to former Manchester United player and coach. I believe that's written differently, but might be the same name. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was. I didn't check that. Thank you, Rookie, for updating us. Yeah, looks like a nice outfit today for the cam. Hopefully, not many issues, and nice move, knight h5. So that's a common plan against the London, is to play against this bishop on f4. So usually white throws in an h3, just so that this doesn't happen. So when white does not play h3, this knight h5 is an idea. Basically, the idea is to win the bishop. It's not always so good to win the bishop, but it's definitely an idea to keep in mind. I think here I would not go knight h5, but maybe she knows some theory. Can we flip the board? Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. We're gonna do it. Okay. Anna-Maja recorded the recap just after the games. Yes, that is correct. I tried to convince her to do it the next day, but she said she wanted to get it over with, so that you know, when it's a new day, it's you know, you don't have to do anything, I guess. So yeah, hopefully everything is okay. Yeah, the opening, unfortunately, that is out of our control. But yeah, who is commentating? You can use !host on YouTube. Hurry up, old Giza. Someone's calling me old. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I just was running a bit late and had to set set up everything anew because yesterday the camera wasn't working, so I was messing a bit with the layout. I think Anna is posing for something. She was smiling at something at least. Not sure at what. Yeah, and as you can see on the board, the opponent has 2 points. So actually, I think because of the accelerated pairings, there are some pairings that they don't follow traditional Swiss system rules. So Anna has 1.5 points. So she drew yesterday. She won the first round. She lost the second, but her opponent has 2. But yeah. Did you guys find what the Kamishi was? Well, I didn't. I don't know if Anna found it, but we just hope. We just hope everything is okay. So the opponent plays here was probably the most principled reaction to this knight h5 thing. Bishop g5. And what I've seen these anti-London systems do is usually they go with the move f6 here. So usually f6 is not a great idea, especially as black, but against some of these London systems, it does work. The volcano caused the issues. It looks surprisingly bright, I would say, the playing hole for a place that is near a volcano that has erupted. I would expect to be a little bit dark and ominous, but apparently not. So yeah, it looks like a bright and sunny day in Reykjavik. Anna looks fresh, I would say. Hopefully this is not that tired after the double round yesterday. It was a marathon yesterday. Like also for me, it was like 8 hours, 8.5, something like that. I was yeah. Imagine how much more difficult must it be for someone who is playing. Yeah, f6, bishop h4, g6 is quite often played. People are saying. I guess that makes sense because one issue that you have here after f6 is that the knight has no escape square, so you have to be careful. So let's say, for instance, after f6, white plays something like bishop h4. I guess that's what white will probably play. So now if we ignore it and play a random move like bishop d7, that is not very good, as you can see, yeah, because white can kick this horse around with g4. Probably g4, yeah. Here there is g5, so you can probably still save yourself, but this is always a threat. You can play like bishop e2 or something like that. This knight is very awkward because it cannot return to f6 or g7. So we always have to keep an eye on that. So sometimes, yeah, g6 is a move, so that there is never a g4. There's never a g4 idea, and the knight could return to g7, and from there it can go to f5, where it would again threaten this bishop. Anna chooses a different approach. She does not go for f6 here. Instead, she puts the queen out to b6, which is also a common idea against the London, in many variations actually. The reason being that when you play the London, you put this bishop out on f4, and you create this pawn triangle so that the bishop is outside the pawn chain. So the bishop is more active than, let's say, on c1, that it will be on some kind of call system. They usually go like b3, bishop b2, or something like that. However, the drawback is that the bishop does not protect this pawn on b2. So that is why common idea against the London is to put out this queen to b6 after you have played c5. It puts a little bit of pressure on d4 and also threatens this pawn on b2. Now sometimes there are some very sharp lines where white sacrifices this pawn and has some compensation against it with rook b1 and stuff like that. Why is he smiling? I don't know. Yeah, I guess she remembered something that I don't know. Her position is brings pleasant thoughts to her or something. I have to move the camera again probably because you can't see our streamer. She's sitting a little bit too far behind from the board, I would say. So okay, let me do it like this. I will change it if she. Okay, now she's back again. I guess she's trolling me. I guess. Okay, I want the board to be visible. Yeah, the table is a bit too large for this view. Okay, let me do it like this. Both players are sitting quite far away from the board. Camera control? Not really. It's just me moving the the screen a little bit. Yeah, for those asking for results, yeah, Anna had a very long game yesterday, ending in a draw. She had quite a few chances to have a winning position, but in time trouble she wasn't able to find the right moves. I don't know who of you were around at the end of the stream, but they analyzed together with her opponent, and I was trying to to tell them. I was being like the party pooper with knowing the engine evil though, and telling them you missed this, you missed that. But okay, I was trying not to be too obnoxious, and it seems like Anna was like, yeah, I should have seen that. I moved the table. I wish I was in Iceland. Probably not. I don't know because of the volcano, but yeah. I mean, the moves weren't that difficult. It's just that if you don't see it within the 30 seconds, you have to make a move. So yeah, you have to make a different move. Mikhail, well, I wish I could speak Russian. I would say Mikhail Livansky. Is that the name? I can read a little bit of Cyrillic. Says knight h5 is bad now. Not necessarily. I mean, knight could always go to g7 and f5. So, yeah. Maybe right now it doesn't really do much, but we always have this idea of pushing the bishop back, going with g6, knight g7, knight f5. So, just a move order issue. Bishop b2 was difficult. I mean, if you think about the back rank issue, how you can move the rook away from the second rank. If this was a puzzle, I'm sure Anna-Maja will find it. Let's put it like that. I'm sure that she would be able to find the correct move. And okay, so it looks like chess.com board just started. That's why you can hear this sound. I don't know if you can hear it, but yeah, probably. You've just seen her. I didn't have the time to. I will probably watch it like on some break or something. But yeah. So Anna's opponent is taking quite a bit of time in the opening, which makes not much sense considering this was a London. You're supposed to. London is an opening you're supposed to play very quickly, develop your pieces, and that's it. But this is actually quite a sharp position. So as I said, usually, or not usually, but it is an idea for white to not protect this pawn and go for some other operations. For instance, d takes c5 is often a move that London players play, especially I would say higher rated London practitioners love to play this move. D takes c5, b takes c5, and some b4. Try to play some kind of reversed Slav ideas, I would say. So yeah, when you have this pawn, this kind of reminds of the Caro-Kann structure that Anna's opponent had in game 1, where she played c6 and b5. It's kind of reminiscent of that. So this could be an idea for white. but I think a more solid and typical London player who just wants to have everything protected and all of that might consider a move like queen to b3 here. Usually that is the kind of typical London move that people make, and black is perfectly fine here. In fact, I'm pretty sure black can actually start already by preparing for some kind of endgame by winning the bishop, or let's say h6. Something like this would be, yeah, something like this. And when the endgame comes, when these queens inevitably get traded, black will have the bishop, so black has an advantage. So yeah, but let's go back to the actual position. Matthew is asking, can we go DC queen b2? And someone on YouTube, Yves Leroy, or I don't know how that is pronounced, is asking if DC queen c5 is possible. So both moves I think are possible. Queen takes c5 is a bit unusual, but like you probably want the bishop to come here. But I guess that stops the move b4. I don't know if we can take advantage of this queen somehow. For instance, the move knight b3 might be of interest. Let's try that. Knight b3. Queen will have to go back, and now you can try something like this, also putting some pressure on this knight. I would say white is quite comfortable here. Computer doesn't really agree. Computer says just plus. Okay, computer says it's equal, but I think white has a good position in this one. So queen takes c5, I think it's good, but probably bishop takes c5 is a little bit more accurate. Queen takes b2 is also possible. It's a bit risky to put the queen there. I don't see why it would be immediately bad. It's definitely a risky line, very double-edged. The queen might end up trapped. You might end up giving way too many tempi to the white pieces to develop, and especially when you've already had a kind of misplaced knight on h5, you never know when that tempo move that will hit everything will come. So something like knight e5, knight d4 in the future might come and hit the knight and also hit something else. Your queen, you have too many pieces that are in precarious positions, I would say. So queen takes b2 is probably a bit suspicious here. You wanted to see why. Okay, let's try to refute that move then. So white to move here. Okay, so the idea, I guess, is that after rook b1 you want to take this pawn, right? Can I somehow trap the queen is the question. Because a lot of pawns are hanging, actually. This pawn is also hanging, this pawn is also hanging. How about starting with something like knight d4 here? Just attacking the knight on h5. You have to go back, I guess. Okay, the opponent did take on c5, so I'm wondering what Anna-Maja plays. This looks interesting because, okay, if I go back, right, then this is a very good move, I believe. This idea of knight c7 is especially dangerous when the queen has moved out, because now the queen cannot protect. You cannot play queen a5. Also, we protect the c pawn, which was a threat, and we threaten this. And if black has to play king d8, you've kind of screwed up here. So yeah, I think queen takes b2 is a bit too risky here. This is, by the way, the actual position Anna-Maja is thinking right now. Is Anna writing with the left hand? Yes, I think she's left-handed, yeah. I think it's about 15% of people who are left-handed, 10 to 15%. That is a common pub quiz question. Yeah, Anna-Maja is one of them apparently. But this is a tricky decision here. Quite early in the opening, this is only move 8, and I guess he's trying to remember rather than calculate, I would say. But she's kind of mixing two ideas here. So there is this idea of knight ace5, f6, g6, trying to play against this bishop. And there is a different idea of playing queen b6 and going after this pawn on b2. So I am not sure you can do both at the same time. On the other hand, again, London is not really the most punishing opening, so I guess you can take some kind of liberties to, you know, to try and play for a win against this, because obviously her opponent is much lower rated, 1897. That probably means that before the rating compression he was around 1830, I would say. So yeah, Anna-Maja is basically has to win this game if she wants her rating to stay above 2200. So yeah, see, it's understandable that she's taking some risks. I don't see anything wrong with the move bishop takes e5. I think that's what I would play, even if it's maybe not the best move. I mean, you can't go wrong with a move that develops a piece. You can't go wrong with, yeah, I mean, if this move is bad, then, you know, the whole opening is probably bad for black. So is he 1897 now? Yeah, I think those are ratings. Those are March ratings, right? Because the tournament started at the 15th of March. So yeah, those are current ratings, surely. Unless there was a tournament between the 1st and the 15th that he played, but that is unlikely, I would say. I mean, he is from the Faroe Islands, so Faroe Islands is actually quite a small country, but they have a lot of chess culture there. They have a lot of chess players. I don't know if they have many tournaments, but I've seen a lot of chess players in other tournaments from the Faroe Islands. So he's playing the tour. Is your opponent doing something? I can't see him. Yeah, he appears to be. Yeah. Also a bit intrigued by what Lula is wearing. Is that like some kind of, like, that reminded me of the volcano explosion. The colors she's wearing at her back, but. The guy who needs to chew a gum the whole game? Is that like a common... yeah. You can read his emotions by the speed of chewing. We have to make a YouTube video that's like 10 classic types of chess players in a tournament. Or something like that. Yeah, our friend Nordi, I'm not gonna spell his name because I'm gonna butcher it, is taking a bite today to enjoy the beautiful Icelandic scenery, I would say, and take some rest, prepare for the double round tomorrow. He did get on the board yesterday the draw against a rated player, so after the tournament he will have a feeder rating. How high or how low it will be determined by his results in the remaining games. Yeah, he drew a 1642 player. I mean, I would say with the compressed ratings, my estimation that would be Nordi would be about 1700, maybe 1700. Phonetically, it's something like Wouter Dorn Wouter Dorn. Okay, that's how I'm gonna call him. I don't know if that's wrong or not. So yeah, Anna's thinking about how to recapture this pawn. Of course, she only has 3 candidate moves here, really. Bishop c5, queen c5, and queen b2. Not really much else to consider. And my assessment here is that queen b2 is too risky. Bishop c5 looks kind of normal. Queen takes c5 also looks kind of normal, just a little bit weird that the queen is blocking the development of your bishop. You have 13 seconds delay. Is my stream alright? Should be nice. At least what I see on my screen doesn't look like any problems. You're used to my delayed responses. I mean, I am dealing with a lot of chats at the same time, so yeah, bear with me. So usually when Anna is streaming, she has one page where you can see both YouTube and Twitch chat, right? But I can't have access to that because it's connected to her Gmail account. So I can't log in with her Gmail. So I have to have different tab for Twitch, a different tab for YouTube. So that's why sometimes I might be a bit late to reply to your comments. Although I do try to look at all comments. Okay, Anna is now having the classic chess player pose, both hands on head, trying to calculate something. So maybe she's realized, okay, maybe I don't remember what the move is here, but let's try to see what's the best move, right? I mean, like your streams from a year ago, so you always responded late. Yeah, it's always been a problem. It's also only because I only have one screen, so you know, if you have 2 screens, it's very easy to put one screen in the chat, one screen the stream, so you can instantly respond, which is kind of what I'm doing here. So I'm kind of splitting my screen in 3, so they can see the video, the Twitch chat, and the board. She does have 3 moves to pick from, but it's an important decision, I think. So I like that she's spending some time. Okay, I wouldn't like it if she spends way too much time, but some time definitely to determine what the best move is. Because queen takes b2 does look tempting, right? So if queen b2 does work, it might, you know, it looks like a pawn grabber move, but it actually attacks a lot of pawns. So if you can win a pawn here and somehow go into some position where we're up a pawn, that would be huge for us, right? We would have a big advantage. So she needs to calculate well here, basically. Is it white's turn? No, it's black's turn. So the clocks you see on the chess.com layout here, yeah, not my friend request here, are the clocks from 50 minutes ago, because there is a 15 minutes delay. The reason why we have this layout, this is not what you would see if you went to the link that's at the top of the chat, is because I'm inputting the moves manually from the camera feed. So yeah. Queen b2 after castle is best. What do you mean after castle? Well, no one is... do you mean that she should develop and castle and then play queen takes b2? Probably that, but... Well, white is not going to leave the pawn on b2 hanging. So... Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. So it's either now or never, I think, for the pawn on b2, but I think we should refrain from taking this pawn. At least, I mean, my instincts would tell me that, yeah, you know, this pawn is probably a little bit too dangerous to take. Mostly because this knight is also a bit misplaced. Like, if my knight was, let's say, on g8, which is a bad square, but let's say g8, I would be tempted more to play queen takes b2, because white can't really protect c3 that efficiently in one move. And there is no knight that can go to b5. So at some point there is this, this trap of knight c3, queen takes b2, and knight b5. I think this is a thing in the Jobava London, but also in normal London maybe you can get some position with that. But with the knight on d2, you can't quickly get this knight to b5. However, using this attack on the knight on h5, you can play this knight d4, knight b5 maneuver. You can quickly get a knight here. Usually the rule of thumb is that if white can get a knight on the b5 square, then b2 is probably not a good idea to take it. So, yeah. Bishop takes castle, and then if possible queen b2. Yeah, that is a good plan. White will not let you take on b2 though. But yeah, that's probably how you should think. Especially if you're a low-rated player and you have this position. I think the first thing you should think is, I have to complete my development, right? And the most natural move, bishop takes c5. You would think like 2-3 minutes. Thinking about, does this hang something? Do I blunder something? And then you would play it. Now, if you're a high-rated player like Anna-Maja, she is thinking a little bit more, because she knows that to win with black, you have to take some risk. So she's trying to make a move like queen takes b2 work, but she realizes that it doesn't really bring much good to her, so she took on c5 with a bishop. And yeah, that's a normal move, developing her pieces. And now putting the question to white, now do you want to play b4 or not, basically? Now it's a little bit different from this c6 b5 that Anna's pawn played in the first round, because here there is a pawn on e3, so this bishop is not that strong as it was in these games where it was looking down at the king on g1. So this bishop actually can move back either to e7, to d6, or to f8 after b4. And that is not too much of a problem for black. And also our structure is a little bit more solid here in the center. We have two central pawns, opponent only has one. That is usually good to have more central pawns. It means more central control. We control a lot of the light squares in the center. And the fact that white played d takes c5 means that the also very common London plan of knight to e5 is not available here in this position. So yeah, so I'm not sure here what will do. Maybe b4 is a move. Maybe he will do something more normal, like knight to b3. I guess that could also be a move. Maybe he could even try queen to b3. Again, trying to trade queens. London players usually love their endgames. They want to play this queen b3, queen b6 ideas, trade queens, go into an endgame. Although my personal opinion, and from experience at least, is that these endgames are very good for black usually. Like I've had very good results from the black side of these London endgames with queen b3, queen b6. Yeah, so I'm not sure what Anna's opponent will do here. I mean, this is not really a, it's not a GM, so his moves are probably going to be a little bit more unpredictable. Or predictable, depends how you look at it. I mean, he's closer to my rating than to Anna's rating, for instance. So b4 is the move he plays. So he's playing quite quickly here. He probably had prepared this move from before, so he said, if she takes on c5 with a bishop, then I will go b4, kicking the bishop away. Now the bishop has to pick a square. Bishop e7 to me looks like the most normal to go here, but we have to be a little bit careful because this bishop is only protected by the knight. So b5 might be interesting here. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that's what the computer likes as well. And it gets very complicated because imagine if this knight moves away, then white could just take, and we'll have to recapture with a king, which is not what really you want to do. You don't want to move a king here. White could open up the position with e4, c4 to start to bring forces around this king. So this is probably not what you want. So bishop e7 probably is a bit of a trap You can't play that. Bishop d6 is also possible. This might be a target though for some. I can see white playing the move e4 here, and there is some future knight coming to e4 and attacking this bishop. So bishop on d6 is a little bit loose, along with the knight on h5. And I hope we don't run into too much trouble here. So I'm suspecting the best move. Okay, she played bishop d6, so I guess she doesn't think there are too much problems. Yeah, okay, bishop d6. Okay, I don't think it's a terrible move, but I don't know what happens after e4. Let's try that. So e4, and obviously taking is, yeah, this, we cannot really take this pawn, I think, because now, okay, first of all there is also this. So knight c4 wins a piece. So yeah, e4 is definitely interesting here. I'm not a big fan of bishop to d6. I would think that maybe Anna had to bring this bishop all the way back to f8 and try to develop more slowly with g6, f6, knight g7, knight f5, bishop g7, and then castles. Although maybe she thought that was too slow and preferred the bishop to develop to d6. Hello, Metal Demon. Welcome to the stream. Knight c4 is now a fun move. Oh, okay, so yeah, that is also a move. So actually white has white has a really good idea to win the bishop pair here. So knight c4 immediately. The reason being obviously that after d takes c4, queen takes on d6. Queen infiltrates our position, takes our dark square bishop, and also prevents us from castling. So that would be really bad. So that means we have to move the queen, right? Queen c7, and white can take here. And now white has the bishop pair. So that's probably not what we wanted. Okay. So maybe something has gone a little bit astray for us in the opening. This knight c4 looks like a good move. Winning the bishop pair, and okay, it's not like black is losing or anything, but I would say white is slightly better after this. Of course, I would say that, yeah, I guess the mods will be here soon to do a prediction. What I'm saying is, I am not sure a player of this rating range knows how to use the bishop pair correctly, because, well, I've played a lot of 1800s, 1900s, and sometimes I've found that knights are often more effective than bishops. Like, I really like to have knights in this kind of balanced middle games, because I feel like defensively it's harder to deal with an opposing knight than it is to deal with an opposing bishop. Like, there's a lot of ways you can blunt a bishop, but blunting a knight is a bit trickier. You have to use your pawns, and pawns create more weaknesses, and yeah, all of that. So surely from an objective point of view, from a GM level point of view, knight c4 is probably the best move, winning the bishop pair for free. But well, first of all, we don't know if the opponent will find it, and secondly, we don't know if he will play the position well after that. FC g6 plan had to be played earlier instead of queen b6. Yeah, that's probably where Anna went a little bit wrong. Yeah, the combination of this knight h5 and queen b6 probably is, you have to do one or the other. You can't really do both at the same time, and that might be why, because now white has too many kind of loose pieces. And yeah, as I said earlier, and Jim Solver is bringing me back to this move, the move e4 is also very interesting, because white can't take, because knight c4 is going to pick up a bishop with check. So e4 would be my first consideration here as white, because I wouldn't see knight c4. But yeah, the move e4 exploits the fact that this bishop is weak here on d6. It needs protection, and yeah, it might be a little suspicious if white opens the position right away. We might be in a little bit of trouble. We might have to be very accurate in the next couple of moves if white plays e4. But yeah, okay. I mean, a double-edged game is I maintain that a double-edged game is probably going to be good for us in the long term, as we've seen time and time again. That's the type of position Anna really likes. Although I see her look right now, and she does look a little bit disturbed. I think she's trying to calculate. She's maybe realizing that white has some has some interesting possibilities here that might not look that great for her. But okay, well, it remains to be seen. A London player e4 with a king in the center. So yeah, you don't see that often, but this guy has played some really active moves, right? He took on c5, which not many London players do. Like the classic London players, they always have their pawns like that. They never move them. They always play like bishop d3, castles, knight e5, knight d2 f3, queen e2. This is like their setup. But this guy probably knows a little bit more about this position, and he's playing it a bit more actively. This dc5 is the sign of a player that knows a little bit more about the position, and this b4 might seem a bit suspicious at first, but it's actually quite a common idea in these double queen pawn openings. Usually black is the one who does it, but the London is kind of a reversed Slav a lot of the time, or a reversed semi-Slav maybe. Although in the semi-Slav your bishop is locked usually, so yeah, I would say Slav is fairer comparison. And this b5 or b4 now maneuver is actually quite common. A lot of times even b5 can be a move in certain positions. We need the stair to work. Yeah, that is a plan as well. 1800s probably look as b5 or a4 there. Okay, let's see what he played. I think he moved knight to c4, so he is going for that move. I mean, already by his opening, I can tell that this guy's probably a bit underrated. Like, yeah, this is he's playing well. He's playing well. And I have a suspicion that, you know, the Faroe Islands, people might not play so much outside of the Faroe Islands. So they have like a closed community. They only trade rating between them, and they're all underrated. Maybe, I don't know. I've never played someone from the Faroe Islands, but I've seen some players from the Faroe Islands that were really good for their rating. When I played in Denmark, there was some guy from the Faroe Islands who was a little kid. His name was Paul Lutien Axelsson, I believe. He was like 2100, and he actually won the rating group that he was playing. So he was really underrated apparently. So this guy is maybe a bit dangerous. So Anna will have to be careful here. Okay, the move queen c7 is forced. Maybe queen d8 also is. Wait, no, queen d8 blunders the queen. So queen c7 probably is forced. Yeah. Okay, don't play queen d8. Because white is threatening both the bishop and the queen. You can't really afford to go into this. White is going to prevent you from castling. The pawn on c4 will also be very weak. So queen c7 is probably only move. I think she will play it pretty quickly. And white will take on d6 pretty quickly. Queen takes d6. This is pretty much all that's gonna happen in the next minute or two. And the position, I would say, is a slight advantage for white because of the bishop pair. But, of course, there is a whole game ahead of us. So, yeah. and is thinking, realizing that this works. I think it's more of a reality check, I would say, rather than calculating what to do. Maybe he's saying, where did I go wrong earlier? Maybe I should not have put this bishop on d6, because it's a little bit vulnerable. Now, something we have to consider is, okay, this move will probably happen, so I'll make them anyway, right? So in this position, this queen is unprotected. So white here might have some interesting options. So the first option I see here is the move e4. This might be an issue, which we probably have to just ignore. And yeah, we can't take. So probably black plays something like castles here, and then white can comfortably bring this bishop back. So this bishop is no longer in danger of being lost, and this knight is very awkward on h5. So we will probably have to spend a tempo moving it back. And right now we can't even do that because e5 is coming. So white has some edge here and is actually quite a little bit better, I would say, after in this position. So yeah, I don't know. Anna has to be precise here in the next couple of moves. If he plays, and this is probably like my instinct to play as well as white, because when you have the bishop pair, you need open position. So playing e4, bringing this bishop to e3, bring this other bishop to d3, castling, white will have quite a bit of pressure. Black will probably castle kingside, and white will have quite a bit of pressure on the black kingside after these moves. So yeah, okay, of course this doesn't mean we are lost or anything. It's just that we are slightly worse. And of course Anna can still outplay her opponent from this position. Okay. She's taking quite a bit of time in a forced move. And that is something I've mentioned along the tournament, usually criticizing Anna's opponents. But yeah, there is no other move here. Like, this is obviously bad, right? Okay, let's look a little bit at this. So white will take this bishop, right? And so first of all, the natural move of castling is blocked. And it's not so clear how would you want to proceed. Maybe something like f6, moving this bishop away, and I don't know, king f7. This looks extremely risky. Also, this knight doesn't have an escape square. So yeah, this looks something like it might work in a bullet game, but in a classical game it looks very, very suspicious. And not to mention that also after knight c4, d4, queen d6, this pawn is also probably going to be lost. So I would say this is not a position that we will want to play at all. So queen c7 should be pretty automatic here. Because as I said, yeah, queen d8 is impossible because of the queen. So yeah, queen c7 will probably have to be played. And there we go. See, she does play it. And I'm sure her opponent, Thomas, I forgot his name, he will quickly go for knight x d6 here, because there isn't really any other moves apart from that. I mean, why did he put the knight on c4 if you are not planning to take on d6, right? So knight x d6 probably will be played. Hello, Santa, on the YouTube chat. Glad to see the blue tulips as well on YouTube, making comments. So yeah, knight x d6, queen takes d6, pretty automatic here. And then white has a position in which he will think, I think, for some time and try to find the best plan of attack And yeah, white does take the bishop, winning the bishop pair, and Anna-Maja, of course, trades trades the pieces. So white has the bishop pair, black has the knight pair. Bishop pair is stronger in an open position. This position is not open yet. It's semi-open, but after something like e4 or c4, white can open it, and that is quite scary for the black king still in the center. Queen is loose, knight is loose. We have to be a bit careful. As you can see, the evil bar already is saying white has a little bit of an edge, plus 0.7. Nothing too crazy, of course, but it's just that Anna needs to be careful. Of course, white also has to find the best moves here. It's you know, if you go with typical development moves like bishop d3, you see already I lost all of white's advantage here. White can capitalize with h6. E4 is not possible anymore to open the bishop, so this bishop is actually getting taken. G5, bishop back to G3, and actually black can even try something like this. So black definitely has some chances here, and of course black is taking back the bishop pair in this variation. So white also has to be accurate here, so that is why white is taking quite a bit of time, and I think the move e4 is a very good idea. The computer wants to play. Let's see what the computer wants to play. Computer wants to play knight d2. Yeah, that's the move it recommends. Knight d2, attacking the knight on h5. I don't think white will play knight d2 here. Looks very weird. But I guess the idea is that you're threatening to go to e4 or c4 and try to put some more pressure on this queen. Queen is actually a bit short on squares because it cannot move back to e7 or d8. So imagine if a knight could attack it from c4. The queen would probably have to go back to c7. I'm not sure though, like I don't really see the point of knight d2, to be honest. If I were white, I would definitely consider this move here. Also giving a flight score to my bishop, ensuring that the bishop pair is mine. You know, black cannot go for some h6, g5 and win it back. And ensuring that the position is opened up as well. So, yeah, move e4, definitely something to consider. I mean, okay, white can also play slower moves. The move knight d4 might be also of interest in general to attack this knight. Knight d2 would not really come to my mind here, but yeah. So yeah, let's see what he comes up with. Anna is of course trying to see what her response will be if the position opens up. I think that's what you want to calculate here as black, like how to avoid major trouble, how to get into a good position in which I can outplay my opponent later. But I would say the opening so far, because we are on move 12, so the first moves of the opening at least have passed. I would say the opening so far has been a success for white. So credits to Thomas here for actually playing a good opening and obtaining an opening advantage against a 300 high rated opponent. It's not so easy to do that. So yeah. So considerations here for white, except e4, some knight d4 ideas, maybe. Bishop d3, as we said, is also a move. Another move might be maybe something like bishop to h4, trying to get away from this plan of h6 or f6 and g5. You know, you have an extra move to do whatever you want. You might want. So after bishop h4, I realized like white can just go h6 anyway, and it's the same thing like black. You cannot really stop g5. So maybe this is not so great. But yeah, b5 is also maybe a move, as people mentioned earlier, that white might consider the move b5 here. So b5 might also be a move, putting the question to the knight. And the reason is here that after knight e5 is impossible. That loses a piece, I think. Or does it? And I think maybe black does save himself or herself here because of queen takes e3 check. So yeah, knight e5 is actually possible, but it looks a bit scary. I don't know. And if we have to return to e7, we always have to be careful not to blunder anything here. Like this constellation looks a little bit loose. You could still consider moves like e4, moves like g4. Yeah, I think we also have to be careful. So b5 is maybe also something to consider here for white. Now, sometimes when you have too many options, you choose the wrong one. So, although I don't really think there is a wrong option here. Like, there are different moves. Each one has its pluses and minuses. And I would say like all moves are pretty good here. Like I think white is better, slightly better, no matter what he does, pretty much. Lurk, see you, Jim Solver. Thanks for hanging out, I guess. So yeah, lots of ideas. Something like a4 looks a little bit too slow. Like a4 was also mentioned as a possible plan. I think this is a little bit too slow. Like white does not really make any direct threats, and we can go like h6, try and trade this guy away. Bishop h4, probably g5 is gonna be played, or even g6. Yeah, something like bishop g3 takes. And okay, here, okay, we did get back the bishop pair, but our structure here is a little bit ruined. So maybe even here white is a little bit better. There is also a threat of knight takes g5, which has to be somehow addressed. Maybe we need to also play f6. And our king is a little bit stuck. I guess what black will try in such position is to trade some pieces, especially the queens. Try and kind of you know, trade some potential attacking pieces so that the king feels a little bit safer. Hello and good evening, Ian. Thank you. Yes, we are black again. Anna had white in the first 2 rounds, so she's now playing black in round 3 and black in round 4. So yeah, it evens out, I guess. And we had a London so far. This is the current position after queen takes d6. White, I think Anna went a little bit wrong. She tried to play knight h5 and queen b6 at the same time, and that kind of backfired. White had a clever tactic of winning the bishop pair. There was a bishop on d6 and a queen on b6. Knight c4 was played, exploiting this pin along the d file. Anna had to move back the queen to c7, and knight took, queen took, and we have this position where white has the bishop pair, so is a little bit better, and he is now thinking how to best transform the position as to exploit the advantages of the bishop pair. So the move e4 is our main consideration here, I would say. Exploiting again the same pin on the d file. And other moves that I've talked about: bishop d3, d5 is also interesting. A4, a little bit of a slower move. And yeah, now of course, as you're pointing out, black also has some things to play for. Pawn on c3 might potentially be weak, especially if we consolidate a little bit more, and we do put a rook on c8. It would be in the open file staring at this pawn on c3. So I would say if black can somehow trade the queens and stabilize this weakness on c3, then black would be better, but c is currently quite a long way from doing that, in fact. So yeah, for the moment, the edge definitely goes to white, I would say. Of course, we would have to see what is his opponent's next move. Now c4 in general is a plan to get rid of this weakness, but the pawn on b4 is weak in that case. So even if the queens get traded, the knight still attacks b4. So maybe a move like a3, in fact, might make sense. I wouldn't be surprised if a3 is among the best moves in this position, because a3 is quite a deep positional move, in fact, protecting b4 so I can play c4 later on and get rid of this weakness on c3. So maybe yeah, if you want to play a little bit more positionally, a move like a3. Of course, I do like to think about such moves only after I've completed my development. But because of the nature of the position, maybe white does not even need to complete development, just needs to attack directly with e4. So I can understand why Anna's opponent is taking a lot of time here, because there are many options here for white. There are at least 7-8 plausible moves that white can make, and yeah, all of them have been, all of them have their plus and minuses, as I said before. The white bishop is amazing. Maybe b5. Yeah, b5 is definitely one of the moves as well to consider. Kicking the knight, putting a little bit of questioning, as I said earlier. 97. It looks a little bit suspicious. Queen is unprotected, protecting the knight. This knight is also very awkward. Anna is currently a little bit far away from consolidating. So b5 is definitely a move to consider as well. Now b5, of course, is a pawn move, and as I've tried to highlight it, as I've tried to highlight on this channel before, every pawn move has some weaknesses. So b5, white has to be careful. For instance, the c5 square is weakened. The queen could find a nice place here to put some pressure on the c3 pawn, and of course the c3 pawn is further weakened if we play b5. Is that Tanya Shachdev on the background? Yes, Tanya Shachdev you can see on the directly above Anna-Maja in the camera feed. Okay, so her opponent has chosen a move that we didn't talk about. Doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It just wouldn't be one of my first candidate moves. Bishop to b5. So pinning the knight to the king. What is Tanya's score? I'm afraid I don't really know. Maybe someone in the chat can tell you. But she is playing on what looks like a live board, so she must be on a high score. I would say 2 or 2.5, maybe even 3. Because I think this tournament has around 40-45 live boards. So if you're on a live board, it must mean you're doing well in the tournament. So bishop b5 is a move we didn't talk about, and you see like how many candidate moves were there. So bishop b5, of course, first of all, is a developing move. It prepares kingside castling. It keeps all the previous ideas alive. White can still play e4. White can still play some a3 and then c4. It does mean that we're not going to be able to put a pawn on b5. So that is why I think it wouldn't be among my first suggestions here. The engine does like it quite. Yeah, I mean, white would be slightly better pretty much regardless of his move choice. It's just how you want to continue. Now, how can we react? Because as Nieza Bitaya is saying, hopefully I'm not butchering that username, we're rooting for black, obviously. So how can Anna try to bounce back and take advantage of this b5 move? So one issue that bishop b5 does not address is this bishop. So this bishop is still kind of trapped. So we could play this move h6, which I really like, because that forces the bishop to go back to h4, which means that if white plays e4 in the future, the bishop will not be able to return back to e3. So this h6 move is definitely a move that deserves consideration here. And then we think if we're gonna play g5 or not. I'm not deciding on that yet, but I can't see what's going on with it. Like h6 and maybe then castling or something like that. And Mikhail in the YouTube chat is saying castles and then knight takes b4. Unfortunately, after castles, I'm not sure that white will allow us to do that tactic. It is a threat, so if white does something random, let's say h3, I think we might be able to take here, and after takes we have this fork. So this is probably what he wants to do, but white has a move here to stop it, and I think the most likely response here would be that white would also castle. So knight takes b4 is impossible, but definitely kingside castles is a move you would consider here, removing the pin that bishop b5 just created, and basically saying, okay, what is your bishop doing on b5? Are you really going to take my knight on c6? Probably not, right? Because you don't want to give up the bishop pair. You are blocking your own pawn. You are kind of vulnerable to some ideas of a6. And yeah, so just castling also would be maybe a consideration. Another move that relieves the pin is, of course, bishop d7. We can also simply go for that. So Anna here has quite some moves to choose from. And these positions are interesting because there are a lot of ideas, a lot of different plans. We're now in the middle game, and both sides have to choose a active plan, a game plan. How am I going to win this game, basically? And it's a very double-edged position, not in a tactical way, so there are no direct tactics, but more in like a strategic, positional way. Who is going to be able to take advantage of the opponent's weaknesses better? Hello, Jen Pixels, welcome. So yeah, white has the bishop pair. Black has some advantages, has the two central pawns. This weakness on c3, that if white is not careful might turn into a quite big, even decisive weakness. And yeah, so both sides definitely have their pluses and minuses. Yeah, I wouldn't really take the evil into much regard. Okay, the evil here is about 0.4 for white, but really anything can happen. This game is very open, a lot of different moves, and you know, it's not like a very narrow field where, you know, you have to find the first move or you are dead. There are a lot of different moves, so this is where the more strategic understanding, the best strategic understanding will prevail. So yeah, moves that we're considering here, h6, as I said, would be an idea to kick this bishop away, prevent it from returning. Castles, obviously, completing our development. Bishop d7, that is breaking the pin. Could we play knight back to f6 and try to get rid of this problem? Maybe. maybe this is also an idea, although maybe it would be smarter to do it after white has castled. So let's say that we go here for bishop d7, right? And let's say white ignores us and just castles short. Now here we might have an idea of knight to f6, and knight f6. If this happens, I think we're actually quite happy. We can play on the g file. Our king is a little bit unsafe, however. So yeah, that also might be a problem. Like, where is our king going? But maybe we can open some file and go rook g8. Although maybe that's a bit, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It looks interesting, but maybe it's not that great here for black. Maybe you have to play a little bit more conservatively, considering the fact that our opponent has the bishop pair. We're probably a little bit worse, so maybe taking more risks with opening the g file, ruining our pawn structure, is maybe not advisable. On the other hand, I don't really see how this knight is going to return to base without being able to, without giving white the opportunity to capture it, because yeah, if we play g6, which was a plan earlier when we did have a dark squared bishop, we weaken these dark squares quite a lot. So these dark squares are very weak. White could play something like bishop h6 already, prevent us from castling. And in the future, you can follow with something like knight d2 to e4, taking advantage of this pin on the d file. And our king is not feeling safe here. So g6, I don't think is ever a good move here. Hello, Screws. Good evening. Welcome. Hope you had a good day. I left you yesterday at night about 3 a.m. my time, but I guess you guys were partying for quite some more time. Hope you had fun. Tanya is there, yes. You can see Tanya in the background. She's playing against, I don't know who her opponent is. Might be one of the Icelandic grandmasters. I'm not really familiar with them. So yeah, you can see Tanya in the background. She's playing on what was formerly Dina's board, but they removed Dina from there. I guess there were some technical issues with the camera. Is Anna safe or is she trapped? What do you mean? Do you mean about the volcano eruption? I think the volcano was kind of a controlled eruption, right? So there wasn't that much of a problem with it. Yeah. Hello, Matthew. Hello. And good to see some mods. People were asking for a prediction earlier. It might be a little bit too late, but okay, we're still in the opening. This game is probably going to go for a long time, so I guess you could do a prediction now, since people were asking for it earlier. Or, I don't know, it's your call, I would say. I mean, for Screws, it wasn't 3 in the morning. I guess for Screws, it was midday or something? I don't know. Does a6 makes our bishop weak, or is there f6 and e5 to move either? So a6, why would it make our bishop weak? I don't realize that. Yeah, because, okay, you're putting something in the light square. a6, I actually, this is not... The thing is, this bishop doesn't really pose many, like, I don't see why would you make another pawn move when you can just go like bishop d7 and develop piece while doing the same thing. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of a6. It feels like a wasted move to me, you know. And you're also mentioning the f6 and e5 idea. That is definitely a good idea. We must be a little bit careful that our knight in h5 does not get trapped in the process. Because if we play f6, then our knight has no retreat squares. Both of its retreat squares will be covered by pawns. So if white is able to threaten it, then we might be in quite a bit of trouble. This is probably why the move knight h5 was a bit misguided by Anna earlier in the opening, but okay, we did put some questions to white at least. And as you can see, Anna is up quite a little bit on time. She's probably thinking, yeah, for quite some time as well. So the time is probably about equal by now, but yeah. Nice prediction. Wait, why is the prediction nice? Did you make a different one and then you deleted it? What was the issue with the camera yesterday? We don't really know. I asked Anna like if everything was okay for today. She said yes. She said she changed some settings. We don't really know what was the issue. We just hope that it doesn't happen again. And at least on my end, I don't know how is it for you guys on the stream, but on my end, it's perfect quality. Like the camera is definitely not having any issues, at least for now. Although it was this case yesterday as well, and then randomly after like 2.5 hours or something, it started melting. But it looks good for now. Oh, he did made one and then deleted it. Okay, I'm not surprised. How can Tanya wear such a thick jacket in the middle of a volcanic eruption? I'm not an expert in volcanoes. I'm yeah, I don't think I've ever been to I've been to a kind of a dead volcano in Greece. But yeah, I'm not a big expert, but I don't think it increases the temperature that much, right? I wouldn't believe that. Hello, Beta Wolfie. Welcome. Actually, isn't Taiwan a volcanic island? Or am I completely wrong in that? I know there are some nice mountains there, but I'm not sure if they're volcanoes. Anyway. Anna collab stream with Lila and Tanya? That would be interesting. Okay, so Anya, yeah, not Anya. Anna finally made a move. She castled. And yeah, that makes sense. That is a cool way to break this pin on our knight. Developing also. And yeah, getting our king out of here. Because imagine if the position opens up, then it's going to be... it's going to be a bit unsafe for our king on e8. Yeah, Anya is a Slavic name, I guess. Russian, Polish, Serbian, something like that. You have earthquakes all the time, and they realized a few years ago that the big mountain near Taipei is a volcano. What? That's just so weird. So they realized recently that a mountain was a volcano. I thought that would be common knowledge, right? Like, I thought that there would be a map with like all the volcanoes in the world or something like that. That is very interesting. SMH, you pay for commentators that don't know. Yeah, I just got confused because Beta Wolf was like Tanya collab, and yeah, my tongue tried to say Tanya, but I was trying to say Anna, so yeah. Well, it's never gonna boom. So if a volcano never erupts, you don't know it's a volcano. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. So are all the mountains like potential volcanoes then? I don't know. Okay, so back to the game. So Anna's castled, and okay, her opponent is at 52 minutes, so he's probably ticking down from that. We're in move number 13, so yeah, I would say both players are quite comfortable with time. What can white do here? Let's see. So again, this knight on h5 is a bit problematic. So It was like knight d4, even knight d2. Now that I did see the computer suggestion earlier into wanting to play knight d2. Knight d2 to c4, or knight d2 to e4 would be a move. E4 is again a move I really want to play here. Like e4, the idea is to just open the position up, right? The idea is to just have the bishop pair. Let's open it up. Now, it might be a little bit misguided here because our king is in the center as white. So maybe white does not really want to open up at exactly this moment. So it's basically a question of timing. So yeah, you can see the evil bar went quite a bit in favor of black when I played d4. So maybe white has to wait a little bit and castle first, develop the pieces, and play e4 in the future. And the problem here as black is that we don't really have that much we can do to stop the position from eventually opening up, especially with our queen still on d6, unprotected, vulnerable to this kind of attack. So yeah, just castling might just be the best move here for white. I guess Volcano is more likely. Oh, okay, wait, that was, let's see. I think map of all volcanoes is like mapping all the oil wells. I think it's about the lava lakes underneath and what kind of fissures are there. Okay, interesting. Why is Anna-Maja staring at her opponent like that? I would say the answer is obvious. She's trying to intimidate him into blundering. It's a well-known technique, confirmed to work. So yeah, we have the Anna-Maja stare emote as well. So yeah. So likes to do death stares, as Jan Pixel says. Oh yeah, he hasn't castled yet, so yeah, maybe I should. Why can't I go back? Thank you. It hasn't come so laggy, man. Okay, yeah, we are also threatening some kind of knight x b4 at the moment. So yeah, I would say, actually, yeah, now that you mentioned that, either white will play something like a3, which, as we said earlier, it might have some positional basis that we're preparing the move c4, but it does look a bit slow, let's be honest. Or white will just castle. I would say like 80% chance that white's castling in this position. So yeah. Okay, I didn't finish Matthew's sentence. I think, is a volcano still a volcano if it never erupts? There's a philosophical question. I think map of all volcanoes is like mapping all the oil wells. We talked about that. I guess volcano is more likely to erupt, but there might be other regions appearing out of nowhere. Yeah, there was actually some kind of island in the, I think it was in the Pacific Ocean that that recently was formed, like 1 or 2 years ago maybe, because of a volcano eruption. So yeah. I don't think it should be allowed to look at your opponent when they are thinking. So Screws, you have played OTB, right? You have played some casual games. Do you stand up from the board when it's the opponent's move so that your opponent can think in silence, or what? I wonder if chess will ever introduce standing or walking desk in light of the knowledge that sitting for too long is bad for your health. That's a fun idea, I guess. Castle is good move, makes sense. I agree, yeah. Castling is... I think that white will castle, like, it's just my feeling. Is this Reykjavik? There is a volcanic eruption there now. Yes, this is what we're talking about. It is Reykjavik Open. And players, at least to my knowledge, are quite safe from the volcano. They just had to evacuate some area near it. Near Reykjavik, but no one was like in danger or anything, and they got some really cool shots. If you want to take a look, you can join our Discord server, our Anna-Maja's Discord server. Some players who are going to Reykjavik are posting some really nice shots of, you know, the red sky and stuff like that, and especially our dear friend and mod trying to remember, Wouter Dorn is taking a bye today, and maybe he will take some pictures and post them in our Discord later. So yeah, you can only join if you want. Hello Alberto, welcome. The lava was flowing less than 40 kilometers away from the playing hole. Yeah, true, but okay. Lava was flowing quite slowly, so it's not like ancient Pompeii or anything like that, right? Where you have to evacuate the city. So as predicted, White castled. White is playing this a little bit more calmly. Like I wanted, immediately opening up the position, some e4, c4, b5, some more pawn action. Maybe it was needed to capitalize on the bishop. But now, of course, we are supporting black, so that is good for us, I think. That he's playing a little bit more slowly, because we have enough time to think about ideas and moves that we are not forced to make a particular move. Again, black here has a wide choice of moves. I still like this idea of putting the question to the bishop on h6, and the reason is that if white eventually plays e4, they are going to move this bishop back to e3 and preserve it. And it's important, I think the bishop is worse on h4 than it is on g5. So h6 actually makes a lot of sense here. To put the bishop back on h4, and even just leave it there. I'm not saying that we will go g5 and go old caveman, trying to win this bishop. Although that actually might be a plan even. Yeah, so h6 is a move that deserves consideration. Of course, we can still complete our development with bishop d7 and stuff like that. Is that the Faroe Islands flag? Yes. And I'm noticing that, okay, the names might not be entirely visible, at least from where I am sitting, and the size of the camera feed, they aren't visible. Like, if you don't know it says Anna-Maja Kazarian, you probably can't make it out. But the flags are quite visible on the camera. They're in 4K quality, I would say. So, you can see the Dutch flag on the left, the Faroe flag on the right. Is Solskjaer Faroese for Solskjaer? I'm already said that. I think too much being with screws in Twitch chats has made me do similar puns. Yeah, I said it might be a similar name to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Lula is playing against someone from Faroe Islands too. Oh, that's interesting. Let's see. Do you see? Yeah, there is. Actually, now I do see it. Yeah, there is another Faroe flag. So, yeah, probably. I guess you can look the pairings up. Faroe Islands, actually, for their size and population, have quite an active chess community. I've seen many players from the Faroe Islands that are playing, even in other countries. I guess Faroe Islands is actually quite close to Iceland, right? If I remember correctly, they are halfway between Iceland and Norway, let's say. So, did Tanya's opponent throw the name sign on the board? That's a good question. Yeah, there doesn't appear to be a name sign. Maybe he needed a little bit more space in that table. Who are those guys with laptops? They are the organizers and arbiters. Guy who is with a nice beard and is a little bit bald and has glasses on top of his head is, I think, FM Ingvar Johannesson, known in the Twitch community as Zibit. He's one of the organizers of this tournament every year. He's basically there every year, and yeah. A small hiccup. Ooh, okay. Hopefully we're back. I apologize for that. Yeah. Okay. We should be back. Just refresh, I guess. But yeah, I'm sorry if it was missed in the stream, but I was saying, yeah, they're the arbiters and organizers with the laptops. Not sure what they are looking at. Maybe they are inputting yesterday's games on the database or something like that. or checking that our streamers aren't cheating, or I don't know what they are checking, or just making social media posts about the tournament. Who knows? Or just watching a Twitch stream. Maybe they're here on the stream and can say hi. I don't know. Would you like to comment on Jesse February being on 5 out of 5 the African Championships? Ooh, that's great. I mean, yeah, she's a very good player. I've missed some moves, or did she play F5? No, I didn't miss anything, right? So F5. Wow. That's a move I did not consider. So playing this in a kind of Stonewall. I actually like this move. Now that I'm thinking of it, yeah, I didn't think of this move at first. But F5, yeah. You know what? I just realized that this helps our knight to go back to F6, and then we can capture back with the rook. So in all this time that I've been talking about random things, Anna was obviously calculating her next move, and I do like the move F5. Because yeah, as Alberto is pointing out, I mean, Alberto is our resident G4 expert. He knows all about G4. F5 stops G4, which was a potential threat, forcing the bishop back to F6. And also, if black wants to voluntarily move the bishop back, bishop takes F6, rook takes F6 is definitely possible. So yeah, I like F5. And also, most importantly, also prevents the move E4, which White was actually, I think it was one of White's best moves, best ideas. So I do like the move F5 quite a lot, in fact. And yeah, this is a really good move, and this is an example of why I'm a bad chess player, because I was looking at this position and F5 didn't occur to me. And you know, now that I see it played, I'm like, oh yeah, F5 is a really good move. Yeah, why didn't I think of that? So yeah. What's Rebecca up to? Yeah, I think Rebecca is busy with her PhD studies. So yeah, this is a really good move though. E5 was suggested. I'm sorry I missed that earlier. Okay, so E5. Yeah, we didn't talk about this, but yeah, E5 is a little bit. I mean, the problem with E5 is that White is gonna play E4, and you are missing support for your D5 pawn. You have to deal with this guy. So maybe Bishop E6. Okay. You could have played E5 actually, yeah. But ooh, what did I miss? Maybe can you go here? Try to put more pressure. Yeah, this E5 was interesting, but a bit risky because you're missing support from your D5 pawn or something. But F5, I really like this move F5. I think Bishop B5 is a stupid move. Okay, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Bishop B5. I wouldn't call it stupid. I mean, it's not, maybe it's not the best move. It's a bit inaccurate. But yeah, it was maybe a little bit slow. Like, Bishop is not really doing much. It's not like, maybe we want to take it. I don't know. Maybe we do want to take it after all. But this is Black is making the Stonewall formation. Now, what I'm a bit worried about is that usually you make the Stonewall against White D4. Yeah, so White has a pawn on D4. So here, White does not have a pawn on D4. So first of all, this file is open, and White can have some C4 ideas later. And also, the D4 square can be used by White's pieces. So knight D4 might be an issue. But F5 is a really deep positional move, I would say. It goes for this structure. We do have a light squared bishop that is kind of blocked right now. I mean, of course, Anna-Maja as a French player is used to this thing happening, but it's a very common Stonewall plan to play the move bishop d7, bishop e8, and bishop h5, and activating this bishop on the h5 d1 diagonal. Of course, our knight is here, so we have to bring our knight back. But I can imagine a future in which we bring our knight back, we do this maneuver, we connect our rooks, we play rook over to e8, and then we can even think of a kingside attack with e5, e4, f4, and all of that. Yeah, I couldn't resist the temptation to roast the French. I won't be taking too long on that, but I want to make it like a daily occurrence. Would you have rather seen f6 and g5 to set up the bathtub? Actually, that wouldn't be that terrible. I mean, I think it at least wouldn't be outright losing. But yeah, it would be funny. This is kind of a mini bathtub. This is kind of a baby bathtub. It's only for one person. Yeah. Can I dance ballet? No. Lol. That's a random question. But yeah, probably not. We used to have a chess streamer that was also a ballerina. Her name was Ellen Makela from Finland. I think she's not that active anymore. I think her life as a ballerina was more interesting than chess, so she just went there. Does the gnome has a name? Not really. I've called him Niels before, but that was kind of a pun. Not really, no. I think it has a name in Danish, like it's some kind of traditional Danish thing. Not sure what its name is though. Should accept breakdowns if we reach time control. I love the polls that are like completely out of the host's control. Can I dance the traditional Greek dance? I'm not a very good dancer, guys. You don't want to see me dancing, right? Okay. Hear me out. Again, no. I had a crazy idea, but no. I will not do that. I will not reveal what it is. Pathos for more than one person. I mean, you can use your imagination. Say it. No. It's too crazy. For content. Now, I was thinking like... okay. I was thinking like, if Anna-Maja makes a norm in this tournament, then I would do like a traditional Greek dance, maybe. But okay, that's maybe she will not allow me to do that. Camera is still struggling? It looks fine for me. Really? It looks fine for me. Doesn't look like it's melting like yesterday. What is traditional Greek dance? I mean, we have many. I don't really know one off the top of my head, but they're quite easy to learn, so yeah. I think the camera struggling is probably that the sun is setting, so it's not too bright, I guess. No, I said WGM, no. Just a bit grainy? Interesting. Maybe that's my stream being bad then. Because I can't see it fine on my end. Okay, as long as the board is clearly visible, so. Anna-Maja is shaking. How's Anna been played today? Uh, Her opening I wasn't a really big fan of. She kind of tried to mix two ideas against the London. So I would say white is slightly better here. But I think she's back on track. I think she found a really good move with f5 that's preventing a lot of white's ideas. And I think she's fully focused and uh, she wants to outplay her opponent from here on. Which cam? Oh, did you mean my cam? Yeah, my cam has bad quality for some reason. Like this cam is supposed to be in HD in 4K, so that the same quality as Anna's cam. But maybe I've done some settings wrong because it looks like it's on some 720 quality or something. I don't know. She's staring deep into poor Tuma's soul. Yeah. And we're also quite a bit ahead on the clock, I would say. Got to your stream because there are less views than Borders scrambling part of the people. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess Anna has less followers than these people, so. But we do have a very nice community, very wholesome, and you're glad to join it at any time. Jam Pixels will nitpick about comes afterwards. Yeah. Why is he playing low rated? Well, in a Swiss tournament, you are playing both higher and low rated players, right? You can't only play against high rated people. So she has 1.5 points, which I guess is lower than expected based on her rating. So it's normal that she's playing a low rated opponent. So if she wins that game, which we all hope for, she will play a high rated opponent in the next round probably. Or maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, basically it's not like a close tournament, so yeah, you're it's random who you're gonna face, or not random, but based on your score, basically. I'm a granny in real life, maybe, I don't know. I've never been hearing anyone describe me as such, but yeah. Nordy is not playing low rated players. Yeah, of course, if you're unrated, you can't play low rated players. Okay, welcome people on YouTube. Tom and Tralala. Actually, this cam has been quite useful for me because yeah, we've used it in some university events as well. It's traveled quite a lot. I think it was a good purchase. I'm happy. I mean, I'm not a professional streamer, so don't really need 4K quality. Am I also going to be commentating the next two tournaments? Probably not. At least I haven't heard anything from Anna about that. I mean, if she wants to, I will consider it, depending on how I, if I have free time. I might not be available the entire time, though. I mean, for Reykjavik, she told me, like, quite a while before. Like, are you free these dates? And I said, okay, maybe not. But I will let you know. And then it turned out I was free. Actually, yesterday, there was supposed to be a CCL game. But my team actually won first place in the regular season, so I think Anna's a little bit bothered by the sun, by the way. So yeah, we got first place in the regular season, so we got a bye in the first round, so I wasn't missing from the thing. Tanya getting the arbiter? No. Surely not, right? I mean, just looks like she went up from the board. Maybe she asked them something like, when is the party? I don't know, or something like that. Or maybe complaining about the sun. Yeah, that actually makes sense. Maybe she's complaining that the sun gets in her face. And you can see Anna's has a little bit of an uncomfortable look. Like, is the sun distracting her? Maybe, it's this thing like when the sun is setting, it's a little bit uh, in your face sometimes, especially in these open kind of open venues that there are windows everywhere. So at the time of sunset, it might be a little bit distracting, but it's only temporary, I would say. Hello, Magnus Giri, welcome. Do you know who we are playing in the next round? Yes, we're facing the University of Brno in Czechia. It's gonna be actually quite a fun matchup. We narrowly beat them uh, last last time we played them in the regular season, and actually it was my worst performance in the regular season. I only scored one win and one draw out of 4 games. So I was considering asking the team captain to not play, to sit out for the quarterfinals, but we'll see what they decide. I think they do want me to play, but we'll see. We'll see. There's also a window behind the camera. That is... Oh, behind the camera? I don't know about that. Maybe. Maybe. I mean, judging by how the sun is aiming at Anna's opponent's face, I think it's true. Yeah. Not an expert in lining up things with the sun, though. I saw your fun today, Axel Hypeman. More commentating opportunities like this will make you very famous. Wait, is the Axel Hypeman still chatting? That's interesting. I've never seen that. I've never seen that name in like last 2 years or something. We never solved the question if it was who it was. I thought it was Vlad in the beginning. I asked Vlad about it. I said, "Are you Axel Hypeman?" He said yes. And then the same day he was like, "Oh, I misunderstood the question. I'm not. It's someone else." So yeah, I guess it's just Screws trolling, a resident troll. But we'll never know. We'll never know. Okay, so Thomas made a move. Knight to d4. Okay, this is a move we haven't talked about in a while. And it is a move attacking our knight and also putting a knight on d4. Which, as I said, is quite a difference from normal stonewall structures where this pawn, for instance, would be on d4. White has the opportunity to put pieces on d4. Now, I am not a big fan of this move. Well, the thing is, this might be an issue, right? We might want to play e5 and attack later. So this only gives a tempo to us, and I don't really see what white is doing with his knight. Does he want to take here? Unlikely, right? We are going to take back with the pawn, further solidifying our pawn on d5 and then getting ready to play e5. So I think this knight knight d4 move is actually quite good for us. I think Anna is getting back into this game, and I think a good start to it is the move knight to f6, getting safe from the attack of the queen that is attacking on h5, and preparing also this maneuver with bishop d7, bishop e8, bishop h5, or bishop g6 rather, and also preparing an idea of e5. And it's quite a difference. Yeah, Scrooge, thank you for the tier 3 to Axel Hypeman, who's diving in the chat. Hello, whoever you are. I don't know who you are. But thank you so much for the tier 3. I'm sure Anna-Maja will appreciate that. People are saying Scrooge gifting himself a sub. I'll not make any comments on that. But yeah. Can you please change the locks to this channel so that you can stream from here forever? I think Anna was quite afraid of that. and that's why she didn't give me her account, but she just gave me the stream key. So I can't do that, unfortunately. Maybe she was afraid that chat would coerce me into taking over her stream, and then she would be locked out of her account. So, uh, yeah, and I actually have been speaking in Danish. Okay, probably put like a Danish flag to make it less sus. Anyway, okay. So knight f6 is definitely a move. Screw's just trolling. Okay, knight f6 is definitely a move here, and I think black is getting back on track. I think white didn't find the best way here to capitalize on our opening experiments, let's say. And this bishop on c8, it's unlike a friend's position, because this bishop on c8, it might look like a terrible piece right now, but in a future where black goes e5, f4, tries to push this pawn, this bishop might actually be our best piece and help onto a kingside attack. And even if white closes down the position with some potential f4 or something like that, this bishop can still be deployed via this classic Stonewall maneuver, via h5 or g6. Or, okay, just stay on d7. You can also go this way, just trade itself on bishop on d5. In general, because of the nature of white's pawn structure, it's not completely locked. There is no pawn on d4. This bishop is not a problematic piece, really. So, yeah. What is this evil plan to steal the stream? I said chat might coerce me into doing that and say, this is my plan. And to be honest, it wouldn't really work, because you can see on the right of your stream, like, this is Anna-Maja's video quality, and on the left, this is my video quality. So, yeah, you can see why one of us is a pro streamer, one of us is not a pro streamer, basically. So, yeah. Screw's trolling, never seen him before. Yeah, me neither. You probably don't remember me, but we met when you lived here. Interesting. I want to talk with this guy and verify that it's Scrooge. But yeah, I don't know. Can you message me on Discord? It's not about quality, it's about quantity, and we want more of you. Okay. Okay, let's see. So so Anna plays knight f6 quite quickly, and that's expected, because knight was attacked, so we bring it back to f6. That was quite of an automatic move. White's turn again. White's been burning quite a bit of clock, by the way. So white will be at around 35 minutes, I think, by now, and Anna around 50, 45 to 50 maybe. So yeah, asking to slide into DMs. I mean, yeah, because they're making some weird claims. So I would ask them questions that Screws wouldn't know, and then they would be exposed as being Screws. So yeah. Hello, Fisher960, welcome. Are you a fan of 960 chess? Do you know that it's been renamed to freestyle chess recently? It's every year they're finding a new name from this variant. Fly UFOs, my defense lawyer. What opening was this? This was a London. This was a London system in which black played an early knight to h5, which was probably a bit weird. And then black played also queen to b6. Usually you can't combine these two, but Anna did experiment a little bit. White took on c5, we took with the bishop, white played b4, and we have this kind of weird structure. I wouldn't really be able to classify this structure as something. I think this is a unique structure. I don't think this has happened before, because black is kind of doing a Stonewall setup, white is kind of doing a reversed Slav setup. So it's a bit strange, But I think it favors us. I think it's a good position for black. Vienten still thinks white is better. That is interesting. Okay, I'm already leaning towards preferring black a little bit here. Maybe the engine wants to play something like f4 and maybe take on f6 so that there is no 94, and then bishop f6, rook f6, and then f4, locking the position down. But I wouldn't say white is... Yeah, I do like black here, to be honest. Maybe this is a plan, and then knight f3 to e5, trying to clamp down on this square. I can definitely see how white could play here for some chances, but okay. But as GM Solver says, exactly, this is why I do like the black position. If we ever get the move e5, it is basically a dream position. Let's say white makes a random move, right? Let's say white plays something like a3. You can see the bar has already turned in favor of black. Well, that's probably because of 94 though. Okay, so let's say white defends the pawn. Let's say rook c1. Okay. So rook c1, and now we have this. I think we have this idea already. And e5, the bishop is springing into life. It's certainly going to be on g4, h3, attacking all these things. We have the two central pawns, which are a big advantage in this kind of position. We even have three central pawns. We're controlling pretty much every square. Our f-file is open. Our pieces are becoming very active. Black is about to attack on the king side and crush white, basically. So one wrong move or one slow move like rook c1, and black is much better here. So yeah. Okay. What if black takes on f6 with a pawn? Okay, so white took on f6, so I guess we can talk about that. So black can take on f6 with a pawn. That is, I guess, aimed at preventing the knight from going to e5, but it is a little bit weakening. There might be some ideas of queen to h5, f4, and maybe bringing this rook to f3 and g3. It looks a little bit. Not so convincing. I think it's interesting, but it opens up our king a little bit too much. So rook to f6 was played by Anna quite quickly, and her opponent is going for this idea of f4. So white is trying to prevent us from going e5. So he's trying to keep this position locked. He's trying to keep this bishop under lock and key, and basically trying to create a symmetrical and closed position. So for instance, imagine now we would take on d4, white is going to take with a c pawn, and the position would be very locked and looking kind of drawish. Of course, the b4 pawn is weak, so maybe he can't do that. Here I think white has to take with the queen, but I think that is like his general aim. Maybe he'll play like a3 and aim for a closed position. Now, of course, white had the advantage of the bishop earlier, and now he doesn't. So again, I do like black here. I do like that this rook is lifted. It might go to h6. Maybe we have some ideas of this or this, trying to maneuver pieces over to the king side. White has some ideas of bringing the knight to f3 and e5. So I would be here a bit scared of bishop takes e6. So for instance, if we make a move like bishop d7, as white, I would play bishop takes e6, bishop takes e6. And my idea would be to play a position where I have this knight against this bishop. And white knight is better than the black bishop, unfortunately, in such positions. The position is locked. The knight has a beautiful square on e5. And yeah, this I would be a little bit afraid of here. So the move e5 immediately is suggested. Not here, rather here. So this move, can we do that? I guess we can, right? So e5 immediately, yeah, this actually might be a move. It looks a little bit complicated. So for instance, after bishop takes e6, I guess we can take here, and white has to return. We can take this pawn. Yeah, this actually works. So maybe e5 is a consideration. I think that, yeah, Anna definitely has to calculate this move, because if she can play e5 and try to break through and open the position, how the tables have turned, right? Now is black who wants to open the position, because locking the position down, white is actually going to give both his bishops and play against our bishop here on c8. So it's now black who needs to open the position. So e5 is definitely a consideration. Another consideration would be to just trade knights and prevent white from going to this knight versus bishop endgame. But trading knights, I think, moves the game more towards kind of a drawish territory. Only heavy pieces remaining, not really much going on. Our bishop on d7 is probably gonna be taken off if it ever goes there. So I would say bishop d7, knight d4 is the more solid approach. e5 is the more attacking approach. So I expect Anna is calculating e5 right now, and she does have a calculating look, I would say. So I would expect the move e5 to be played, basically. Maybe not. We can get double black. Already had double white. I think that Anna is guaranteed to get white on round 5. You can't have 3 of the same color in a row. So we definitely know that tomorrow. By the way, tomorrow there is a double round. So tomorrow, again, it's like yesterday. The first round is at 10 in the morning, and the second round is at 5. Those are CET times. So yeah, we know that for the morning games, she will have the white pieces. We don't, of course, know who her opponent will be, but we know that she will have white. And I'm sorry for ignoring the chat. I've gone a bit on a tangent. So let's see. And Anna has gone e5. I mean, the game is so interesting, and also I've been talking about random stuff. So, okay. e5 has been played. We have to talk about that, right? So she is going for this. We expected her to go for this. I said this is the active move, the move that she wants to play if she's playing for a win. And we said bishop takes e6, ed is a threat. So probably white just has to move the knight. I don't think f takes e5. F takes e5 we just take with the knight. And this pawn is very weak. This pawn is very weak. We will trade the bishop soon. And here we don't really mind that much about just heavy pieces remain on the board, because these two targets are going to be where we're going to focus our play. So e5, yeah, as suggested by GM Solver first, is a really good move, and definitely the move you want to play if you want to win this position with black. Now, white probably has to play either knight back to f3 or knight back to b3, I would say, because fe5 is not so good, and Anna-Maja is looking at the camera. Maybe she's realizing, what if the camera melted? I mean, we are at about the point where it melted last time. We're about at the 2 hour and 15 minute mark or so. Hello, Charku. Charku again, late to the party, missing the prediction. But yeah, position is opening up. White probably has to move the knight back and try to clamp down on this square. I guess either here or here. Bishop takes c6 doesn't work. Knight takes c6, I think also. We just take here, and we keep this position open. This bishop will have actually quite some prospects. If white goes back, maybe you can even deploy it on a6. I do really like black's prospects here. These pawns again are going to be very weak. So e5 is a great move. White, of course, it's still the game is still very much in balance, but white has to respond carefully to this move. And notice that Thomas is getting quite a bit low on time. Queen h5 is rook h7. So yeah, we're going back to G. I'm sorry for not analyzing this too much, guys, but well, it didn't happen in the game. So yeah, we can maybe look at a little bit after, but yeah, maybe ask Anna after the game if she considered taking the pawn. I think she didn't. I didn't really see a way to damage her pawn structure and play g takes f6. It unnecessarily, I think, changes the structure. The rook is fine on f6. it's preparing to be lifted, definitely supporting our general plan of opening up and attacking. So yeah, I don't have a problem with the way Anna played. Maybe it was possible to play GF, but I think our plan so far is more principled basically, and yeah, I'm going like this. Okay, now catching up with Twitch chat a little bit. Okay, so yeah, Anna has Icelandic water that bottle costs like 30 euros. True. Could the tournament fees cover 7 bottles of water? I actually don't know how the entry fee for the Reykjavik Open is. I'm assuming it's about 100 and something. 120 euros, maybe something like that. I mean, we paid 100 euros in Munich, which is a far smaller tournament. So yeah, I would expect at least 100 euros. We do need to punish white for playing the London. Yeah, playing e5 is the traditional way of punishing London players. Like, usually if black gets e5 in under good circumstances, the London player is in bad shape. Now here the computer still likes white, but I do like black's position a lot. Objectively, this might be fine for white, even better for white, but he has to be very careful, and he is getting quite low on time. He already had 28 minutes a while ago. Now he's probably at around 25, and he still has 23 minutes to go. So we're getting at about the zone of having 1 minute per move, which is what I would define as time travel. Okay, he is moving though. He is moving pretty quickly. Knight to f3, as expected. And now we have to take another decision. If we want to take on f4, or do we want to play e4, or how to deal with this. Maybe do we need to leave it there? Could we leave it there? I don't think we can, because white is threatening bishop takes c6, followed by f takes c5. So we actually have to move this pawn, either forwards or side or diagonally taking. So those are both our options, and it is that our d5 pawn might become here weak. Okay. Who is the commentator? You can use exclam host. What sort of rating are they? My rating is 1940 something at the moment. My peak was about 2080. So I'm nowhere near as strong as player as Anna-Maja, but I guess I'm an intermediate player, as James Holver would say. Says 2000s are intermediate. So yeah. White has 2 bishops. The computer will always prefer white. I guess that comment was a while ago, because white no longer has 2 bishops. But the computer still thinks white is better. Which makes sense, because now, yeah, okay, white is trying to utilize the problem of our d5 pawn. Saying our d5 pawn is a little bit weak, and maybe we can take advantage, like some doubling up here, maybe even trying to push for c4. Although I do like the rook defending the queen now. So Anna takes on f4 pretty quickly, and I assume white is going to pretty quickly take back. Yes, that's what happens. Okay. Doesn't move like h6 affect black's position. We'll talk about it later. Is that Greenland flag? No, it's Faroese. So Anna's opponent is from the Faroe Islands. Hello, Blue Boy. Welcome. I'm sorry for catching up with such as now. Somehow this guy finds knight f3. I mean, I guess you can find knight f3 by the process of elimination, right? So all the captures are bad. So what's left is just going back with the knight. If e4, it's not necessary for white to take the knight on f6. How is black developing their bishop? If e4... So Anna could have played this. And Anna could have played this, and it says it's not necessary for white to take the knight on f6. How's black developing the bishop? So there is this idea for developing the bishop in general. The reason why white would want to take this guy here is that this knight is going to be better than this bishop. Even if this bishop goes here, the knight is going to find a nice home on d4. which is an outpost for the white pieces, and that is why the reason white would probably go here. And something like this. Actually, yeah, white can go immediately to d4. there is no need to go this way. So yeah, knight d4 and the cam did have a little bit of a freeze there, but it's back. Okay, let's go back to the game because I'm missing some moves here. We see some blitz chess by both players. Okay, you'd have to tell me what the moves were here. So e takes f4. I'm missing all the action. E takes f4. Queen takes f4 was played. Queen takes d5 check. And bishop e6. Okay, now this is a very complicated position. I probably won't be able to analyze everything. But what has happened is black has taken a pawn on f4, is traded it for the central pawn on d5. The position has opened up quite a bit. And yeah, it's very open, very double-edged. Black's pieces are all getting developed. And the computer still thinks it's equal. I agree. I don't see any reason for any side to be better here. I do like the position opening up because white is a bit lower on time. He might he might be a bit prone to making mistakes. You can see right that Anna has about double the time of her opponent. I think that continues even 15 minutes into the future where the actual clock times will be. Yeah, this is still a very interesting position and quite a lot of action still to come. I hope the cam is okay. It did do kind of the same thing as yesterday for a little while, but it did come back. So that's interesting. So maybe the settings that Anna changed are cool. Okay, so he is moving queen to c5. Both players are playing quite fast here. We're on move 20, so that might explain. I will do a quick recap of the game, Blue Boy. I'm just trying to find a moment that there are not too many moves played, so I don't have to explain that much altogether, because now there are like 4 moves. I'm still trying to take the position a little bit in. So white is threatening this pawn on c6. Yeah, and as you're saying, this position is very, very dynamic. White is threatening this pawn on c6. Is it really a threat? We have bishop c4. Our queen is also in lineup with his rook. This is a very... It's a difficult position to play. Okay, I think Anna is going to take some time here. I'm gonna gamble on that. She is usually very principled with her time management. So she is about 20 to 25 minutes up on the clock here. I would say this is a good moment to take some time. I wouldn't play immediately here. So yeah. Okay, let's see. I don't think I've missed any other questions. If I did so, please repeat them. Yeah, you guys are very active, I would say. Okay, rook c8 now. Let's answer that first. So yeah, the move rook c8, I don't see what could be wrong with it. So rook c8 does make sense, bringing our last piece into the game, also lining up with the queen. We might have some ideas of the knight moving in the future somewhere and direct attack on the queen. So yeah, this move is definitely a good move. Definitely a good move. I don't like the fact that our queen is also kind of lined up, but yeah. Okay, rook c8, definitely a move to consider. I think it's definitely one of the moves that Anna will consider. Other moves, I was looking a little bit at bishop to f7, trying to... You know, this is kind of a safe guarding move, right? Just making sure there aren't any tactics, protecting the 6th rank as well, and making... Yeah, just I'm also preparing like some kind of queen to d6, because I think that if we go into an endgame, that is what I realized, right? This pawn on c3 might be a bit of a weakness. So maybe it would be good for Anna to try and go into an endgame. But of course you can play rook c8 and then follow up with this with bishop f7 idea. Anyway. b6 before rook c8. b6 is impossible, unfortunately, because that would hang the knight on c6. So, are we losing a7? Oh, yeah, that might be a problem. So, rook c8, bishop takes c6. Oh, I guess we are losing it, but we can always take with the rook, and if queen takes a7, we can probably take on c3. I'm not sure what's going on here, actually. I guess white can also take on b7. This looks very, very dynamic. I don't like the fact that white has two connected passed pawns, though. Yeah, so this game has taken a very, very sharp turn. Rook c8 might not be the best move here. So I guess we might have to go with my other idea of bishop f7, keeping the rook on a8 for now, defending this pawn, and the idea is that after bishop c6 I want to take with this rook and try to pressure c3. So maybe not rook c8. I don't know. Rook c8 feels very natural though, so maybe it's still a move. Bishop f7 though, I think might be best. I can't see any other move. Queen e4 maybe, but queen e4 just I don't like, because rook a1 is such a good automatic move. Maybe we have queen d5, but I don't really like giving tempi to the opponent. Actually, ooh, yeah, there is a tactic. Queen e4, rook e1, queen d5, rook takes e6. I think works. Rook takes e6, and you can't play queen e6 because of bishop c4. And if you try to make an in-between move, b takes c5 simply, and after rook e6 you just go bishop c4, and there is knight g5 coming. White is completely winning. So yeah, this queen e4 move doesn't work. This queen on c5 is surprisingly good. Black is playing rook c8, so black is probably she's played rook c8, yeah, and she is basically saying I'm sacrificing a pawn on a7. So maybe, you know, it's a bit of a gamble to see if her opponent will go for dinner. Now he might calculate it first and go then, which would lose him some time. He is already about 20 minutes, I would say, or he might immediately go for it. So I would say it's a little bit of a gamble, this move, that her opponent will miscalculate something on low time. But yeah, Jim Solver is saying exactly the same thing. I'm glad that we thought that I'm thinking like a GM. Yeah, this is a little bit of a risky move, I would say, because bishop c6, rook c6, queen a7. If white can navigate the complications correctly, I don't see how black is better. But okay, the opponent goes rook a1, so the opponent is trying to play pretty fast. He's trying to not get into that much time trouble. Welcome, Vlad. Hello Vlad. Rook e1. So this is the move played. This is a very, very difficult position. So I guess this is a good time to somehow safeguard our pawn on a7, right? So maybe the move b6 comes into mind. b6, of course, doesn't hang that because we're threading the queen. So some combination of b6, bishop f7, queen c7, all of these moves. It feels like our pieces are a little bit loose. There's also some ideas of rook e6 and bishop c4, which we must be careful about. So if we play a random move like 8-6, I'm not sure this works, but I think it does. Rook takes e6, rook takes 6, bishop c4. We're in quite a bit of trouble here. Knight d4 might also be coming. So we have to be a bit careful. We can't afford to lose time here. It's a critical stage of the game. Anna needs to spend her time wisely. Yeah. Vlad says, I'm peace, scored 4 of 7 today and 3 plus 3 elo. Should have been 5 of 7 plus 23. Lost to a drunk IM who taunted me after the game. Okay. I mean, congrats on your rating, yes. Gain. Okay. Yes, should have been better, but still. I guess it was a Blitz tournament? Or was it Rapid? Anyway, yeah, 4 of 7. Not bad score. But yeah, this guys who taunt you after the game is it's not a great feeling to lose to them, let's say. So yeah, I also like to not play in tournaments where there's such players. But yeah, let's just hope that you can feel better if Anna wins her game today. This is playing a little bit like a Blitz game here. This position feels like a 10+3 game. I've played some 10+3 games recently. This is how I played. I was like, who cares about pawns? Who cares if you're calculating, right? I mean, her opponent has about 20 minutes, as I said. Anna is about on 40, I would say, right now. So she's calculating. She realizes this is a critical position. She needs to spend her time. She needs to spend her time to make sure that she doesn't blunder or anything, because as I said, this is a huge threat for white. So this rook e6, bishop c4, so she needs to somehow make it. I really like bishop f7. I'm not sure if I still like it, but bishop f7 I think might be the best move. Another idea is b6, just using a tempo and then going bishop f7. That could also be being done. A drunk AM fan of Korobov? Yeah, probably. How we doing, chat? Stream has been fine so far. No cam meltdowns. b6 has been played. The position could be better, but we are pressing our opponent on time. Vlad, are you proud? This is the first time I've seen Anna-Maja playing for time. Like she's 20 minutes up on the clock and she's moving fast, trying to make her opponent make fast decisions. I would go b6, then think after queen f2. Yeah, I guess that's fair, yeah. Queen has to go back. It's not even true that white would play queen f2, right? He might go queen e3. Or something. Although trading queens, as we said earlier, trading queens is really good for us. Because then we pressure the pawn on c3. So, yeah. I'm so proud of Anna-Maja squeal like a seagull. Okay. Yeah, so b6, we do like that. All right, so okay, now I guess our opponent has to move the queen, so we'll wait for a little bit. I wanted to do, the quick recap that Blue Boy asked me. I'm trying to find a time, but moves are coming fast. I think I'll do it in half a minute. She learned from yesterday's games, was a bit upset for wasting so much time in the middle to miss tactics at the end. That is true. Like yesterday, she was also pressing, and she actually achieved a better position in the end, but had too little time to actually find the good moves, and that was what cost her, I think, the half point. It wasn't a bad game, but yeah, just maybe bad time management a little bit. So yeah, nice outfit today. Is it pink? Is my camera that bad that you can't see the color? Really? It is obviously pink, yes. And I think Tanya has finished her game. I can see that in the background. I'm not sure what the result is. I can't see that far. It's too small. But yeah, her outfit is pink. Okay, let's go for a quick recap since I'm seeing quite a few new faces in chat that haven't been from the start. So let's go for a quick recap from the start of the game. Okay, let's go from the beginning. Tanya won. Okay, that's nice. Who was her opponent? Can somebody tell me his name? Okay, so how did the game go from the beginning? d4, d5, knight f3, knight f6, bishop f4. We have a London, also known as a snooze fest. Bishop f4, also known as favorite opening of 1800s. e6, e3, c5, c3. So far so good. Main moves here, bishop d6, queen to b6, knight to c6. My favorite idea here is to leave the knight on b8 and go bishop b6, bishop d6, queen c7, and put this knight on d7. By the way, for those of you watching the live boards, he has played queen f2, so we will add that move later. Anna played knight c6, knight bd2, knight h5. So this is a plan aimed against this bishop on f4. White played bishop g5, and here the main idea is to go for some f6, bishop h4, g6, with the knight going like this. However, Anna played queen b6, and I commented saying maybe mixing up knight h5 and queen b6 is maybe not the best idea, because you've got, after d takes c5, you've got a lot of loose pieces here, and her opponent, to his credit, found some really good moves. dc, bishop c5, b4 is another good move, and bishop d6, which might have been a little bit inaccurate, because this bishop is unsafe here, as shown by the opponent's next move. Knight c4, queen c7, opponent grabbed the bishop pair. Joachim Beilsteiner 2079. Okay, so Tanya was expected to win. Congrats to her on her win. Yeah, that makes sense that I didn't know him. Queen takes d6, going back to the position. White grabs the bishop pair and goes bishop b5, which we said White had a lot of ideas here. I wanted him to play e4. I think that was probably the best move. Another consideration was the move b5. Another consideration was the move a3, I think. But he played bishop b5, and that looked a little bit slow. We were able to castle. We were able to play this f5 move, which is quite nice, preventing the opening of the position with e4, preventing some g4 ideas trapping our knight, and knight f6 is now playable. You can take with the rook. You don't have to double your pawns. White played knight d4, and we went knight to f6. White gave back the bishop pair and played f4, planning to go bishop c6, bc6, knight f3, knight e5, clamp down on the e5 square. So Anna took the opportunity here and went for e5 immediately. This is the most direct way of playing. Knight f3, that was probably the best move. ef, ef, queen f, queen d5, so a trade of pawns in the center. Bishop e6, queen c5, and here, why is this not working? Here she played rook c8. Opponent played rook a to e1, threatening some tactics with rook takes c6 and bishop c4. We played b6, and our opponent has played queen to f2. So that is the current position. Black to move. Anna-Maja is thinking. Opponent has about 20 minutes, 18 to 20 minutes, I would say. Anna-Maja has about 35 to 40 minutes. And here, of course, we have some issues. We have some issues still with some kind of these ideas. Although now we are controlling the c4 square, so maybe it's not so strong to go here. Although there is still some knight d4. I don't like this. There's some bishop c6, knight d4. There is a lot of issues here. I still want to make this consolidating move, bishop f7. I think the bishop is... This might look a little bit like a weak player's move. I admit I do like this type of moves too much. Sometimes I make them when they're necessary. But I really like to not block the lines between my pieces. So I would really love to have the rook defend here on c6 and go to c3. It might look a little bit passive, but okay. Okay. And I missed a nice comment in chat by ACL Blood saying, knight h5 with queen b6 is Kuzubov's line. It needs good preparation on black side, probably not practical unless you're Kuzubov. Yeah, maybe. I guess he missed some accurate idea in the opening. I mean, speaking for me, I've played against London many times. I've never had any problems with this. Since I found this line with bishop d6, queen c7, and knight bd7, which eventually ends for e5. I've never had any problems with London, but maybe that's because my opponents are bad. We will probably learn when I play an opponent who plays with 98% accuracy and crushes me. But yeah. I agree on general principles, but this line, bishop c5 is a mistake. You need to play queen takes c5. Okay. Okay, and Anna goes for the more active approach. I wanted this bishop to go back. She goes for the same idea, so she goes bishop to d5. A little bit more active than bishop f7. Bishop d5, this bishop is unprotected, so that's a cause for concern, I guess. But we are putting some pressure on the knight on f3, so that is a plus. So bishop d5 I like, actually. It's an active move. It does what I wanted to do of connecting this rook to this knight, so potentially if bishop takes c6 we can double out on this c file. And basically what black wants in this position is to trade the queens, I think. Like, if we could trade queens without white getting rid of the weakness on c3, I would say black has a good position, maybe even slightly better. As long as there are still queens on the board, okay, of course there are many tactical chances for both, and with white's time dwindling, that might be a good thing, but I think objectively, from an objective point of view, white has to be better here. So, yeah. Pieces look like they can be hung any second. Exactly, yeah, this is the feeling I have for this position as well. I'm not sure if I like that or not. I do like it because the opponent is low on the clock. He might be getting... he's getting lower than 20 minutes. And he still has to make about 17 moves, so he is in time trouble. But I also don't like it because, as I said, objectively white has to be better, so black is the one most likely to make mistakes. Eve in the YouTube chat is saying white plan is easy. Rook e3, queen e2, rook e1. So white wants to triple on the e file and go a3, and I assume an eventual c4. That's why you want to move a3. So yeah, that's it looks like a good plan to triple on the e file. I wouldn't say it's yeah, it's that easy. Yeah, it's a possible plan. It's a possible plan. Black might also have some counter ideas here. For instance, what would you do if I took this knight? Is a good question. Maybe rook e3 is, yeah, you want to start with rook e3 so you can safeguard this knight on f3. So I get the move rook e3. I understand it, yeah. On the other hand, maybe white wants to do some kind of... if white triples here, you can always blunt the e file, the move bishop to e4, right? And if you try to attack this bishop, I might take it with the f pawn and open the f file for myself. So maybe I will triple on the f file, put my bishop on e4 and going like this, yeah. Online you play bishop g4 after 20 seconds or so due to pre-move stuff. That is a very risky try. Wait, bishop g4. Oh, no, that's not what okay. Yeah, okay, I thought you played bishop g4 with a pawn already on the e file. So yeah. Anyway. Serious, I'm not wearing any. Thank you for the information, Blue Boy. Yeah. So rook e3 definitely a valid move, but I wouldn't say that white is... Maybe white is still slightly better. I think the engine agrees. The engine gives a valuation of about plus 0.8 to the opponent, but with white's time going low, I like black's chances more and more. I like that the position is open. I like that all our pieces are quite active. And I like that, you know, this is exactly the kind of position in which a low-rated player like myself or Thomas here, who is also about 1900, would get outplayed by a stronger player like Anna-Maja, who's 2200. So yeah, I quite fancy Anna's chances here, especially as her opponent is thinking. I think he might find rook e3, though. Rook e3 is a good move. I think he might go for that, actually. Because other than that, I don't see what white would do. Like c4 is controlled by us. Actually, bishop to c4 might be a consideration here. I would like to trade bishops. So, let's say, can we go after rook e3? Can we go here? Or is that a blunder? It is a blunder. Why? Okay, he has gone for a3. No time to waste on my silly moves. a3. I guess safeguarding the pawn on a2. Okay. So now time to consider some moves. The first move to consider probably is bishop takes f3, right? So bishop takes f3. White is probably going to take with a queen. And I do like that because I do like the prospect of trading queen. So queen takes f3, rook takes f3. Maybe we shouldn't like it that much though, because I think the white bishop is better than the black knight in this occasion. So yeah, this endgame I think is equal. White has the better minor piece, black has the better pawn structure. Yeah, this looks drawish to me. So maybe bishop takes f3 is kind of a bailout option if we find nothing better. This a3 looks a bit slow. So maybe we can take advantage of this somehow else. This guy's playing safe moves. He's definitely scared. He's giving mixed vibes to me. In the opening he played very actively, as Jim Solver is saying. So b4, knight c4. This is not typical London player moves. So this guy definitely knows a little bit more about the position than just making, the systematic London moves. So, but of course now with low time it is different, right? So that what Jim Solver is saying basically, and I think Vlad also knows that, is that, for instance, I can speak about myself, right? I'm a decently bad player, let's say. But usually I do find active moves. I like play active moves. I'm not a player who will sit back and wait. But under time pressure, sometimes I will make safe moves that eventually will lose me the game against a high rated player. So what I'm saying is that even someone who plays active, if he's in time pressure, he can make kind of scared moves and the opponent can take advantage. So I hope that's what happens in the game here. Anna is playing quite quickly and she plays the move rook g6. So once again playing kind of on her opponent's clock, trying to provoke some weakness, trying to attack, I don't know, rook to g6, kind of lifting up the rook, preventing this knight from moving. So knight d4, for instance, is a bad move because rook takes g2. And yeah, the computer didn't like that so much. I wonder why. I guess maybe white can play like g3 and saying what are you doing here? Like how are you attacking? Maybe leaving the protection of the f5 pawn is not what we want here. I don't know. But Sis is definitely trying to play fast so that her opponent will make a mistake in time trouble. Rook g6, knight h4, queen h4, queen h4, rook g2. The famous windmill. Let's solve that actually. Let's see. Black played e5, takes f4 in vain. Pawn f5 is bad now. Yeah, I do agree, especially after rook g6. This pawn might be a weakness in the future. Bishop f3 runs into queen a2 check. Oh, I missed that probably. So a3. Wow, I didn't realize this opens up this square. So bishop takes a3, queen a2. Ah, and you want to take with a rook. So king h8, rook takes f3. Yeah, and now I can see. So white keeps the queens on, has the bishop against the knight, and white is much better. Okay, so interesting. So probably Anna saw that and didn't go for bishop takes f3. Instead rook g6. Okay, rook g6. So I think she's trying to play fast. She's trying to to make her opponent feel uncomfortable, feel pressured, and maybe he will make a mistake in time trouble. So let's see. This is looking at you, chat, for missing queen a2. Yeah, I didn't see that. I mean, forgive me. I have to analyze positions like a split second. I don't know. Time feels like it has passed very very quickly today. I don't know what it is. Like it feels like it's half an hour and it's been 3 hours almost. That's probably good, right? It means I'm having fun, I guess. I don't think she will take the knight. It's white's move, the boy. So g3, yeah, g3 is what I suggested as well. I'm wondering what black has in mind after g3, because the f5 pawn is feeling a bit tender there. Fun in London. I mean, this has been quite interesting game for a London, I would say. So, yeah, maybe because of White's decisions. But this has definitely been quite an interesting game for London. White is about to get in huge time trouble here. As you can see, he had 15 minutes ago. He's been thinking the majority of the last 15 minutes as well. So I would say he's at around 6 to 7 minutes, maybe even less. And we're still on move 24. He still has to make 16 moves in this time. So he might actually have less than half a minute per move by now. So he has to play very quickly. It's important though for Anna to not fall into the trap of, you know, playing too much for your opponent's clock and getting into a bad position. Often I have that problem as well. When my opponents get very low on time and I have like a 40-minute time advantage, right? Or something. I play too quickly because I'm trying to induce mistakes, and then I worsen my own position and lose eventually. Because, okay, it's not like white is going to flag, right? White's going to make moves. It's not like 3+0 where you always have the possibility of flagging if something goes wrong. Here you can't flag. If you get into a bad position, if you lose a piece or something, or even if you lose, let's say, 2 pawns, the opponent is probably going to find a way to convert, even with 30 seconds on the clock. So you have to keep the position complicated enough for your opponent to think. You have to make objectively good moves so that your position remains at least playable. And you also have to play quite fast so that your opponent keeps not having time to make moves. So she needs to find a little bit of a balance here, I would say. So let's see. This is interesting. I think this game will be decided before move 40. That is my feeling. Hopefully in our favor. I mean, as I said, it has been a fun game, but I don't like this evil bar being too white, you know? I would like it to be a little bit more black. So he is moving. He played rook to e3. Rook to e3 was the move. Okay. Defending the knight. So black was threatening maybe some bishop takes f3. He wants to be able to take back with the rook. He also prepares to go queen e2, rook e1 as suggested earlier. However, our rook keeps contact with g2. So I think this is decent for us. We can still try to put a little bit more pressure. A move I would consider here is either rook to f8 to defend this f5 pawn, or maybe something like bishop to e4. Try to blunt the e-file as suggested earlier, as I said earlier, and not allow the plan of doubling. I want to protect this bishop, to have all of my pieces protected, and also bishop e4 protects this pawn, which might be a weakness. So bishop e4 actually is definitely a move I would consider here. Not like him to be too white, yeah. Poor Axit cannot have dinner now. I'm not hungry. We had a great family dinner, as we have every Sunday. So yeah, rich one. I'm full of energy, and hopefully Anna is full of energy as well, because now she needs to make some good moves in order to keep the pressure. The move bishop e4 I really like. I think if anything, it forces white to kind of bail out. Maybe play some move like knight h4. I think the queen h4... does this work? I didn't saw this earlier, by the way. So GM Solver was saying here, knight h4, queen takes h4, queen takes h4, rook takes g2. So this is the famous windmill. But there is nothing to take. Like if there would be pawns here, then black would be able to, you know, go rook f2, king c1, rook g2, king h1, rook e2, and so on and so forth. But we can go the other way as well, rook g4, and this is checkmate because the black rook controls the g file. Black bishop gives check. White cannot interpose, so this is checkmate. Rook e4, bishop e4, rook f3, bishop f3, GG. So knight h4 was not possible. It was a possible blunder that white could have made. After rook e3 and we go something like bishop e4, I think white can play knight h4 now, because after queen h4, rook g2, king h1, rook g4, white can now interpose on f3. And yeah, after rook takes h4, wait, did I miss something? Oh yeah, lol, okay. White can also take. White can also take the bishop. So rook g2, king h1, rook g4, you can play here. And yeah, we're breaking the mating patterns. Black will take the queen, white is taking here, and white is up rook. So this is not possible anymore after rook e3. But still, I like the move bishop e4 here for Anna in this position. Maybe there are other moves though. So as I said, rook d8 might also be a move. I really like moves that protect our pieces, make sure that we don't blunder anything. Anna doesn't hear my advice here, and she goes h5. Okay, so she's trying to maximize the pressure on the king side. So she's really going on an all-out mission here. h5, pushing some pawns. This is a move that, for me, speaks like either I will win this game before move 40, or after move 40 I will probably have a really bad position to defend, because this is making extra weaknesses on g5, on g6. It's a bit of an all-in, all or nothing move, I would say. Hello Nordi, hope you're enjoying your rest day, by the way. Hello. Is trying to play her opponent's clock still. Of course the plan is h4, h3. Although I'm not sure h4 can just be taken. Yeah, maybe. So, not really sure what is the plan of h4. Maybe, you know, preparing. So, you know, if you go queen e2, maybe then I will go h4 or something like that. But, yeah, this h5 looks a bit committal to me. Looks a bit like if our attack doesn't succeed, we will have too many weaknesses. He is moving quite quickly. Rook to e1. So he is keeping with his plan of doubling. Again, I would like this bishop to be put here and blunt the e file. F? Oh no. I think we're back. Yeah, small f. I'm sorry with small f's, guys. It's probably my internet trying to cope with the new updated quality. But it shouldn't be a terrible problem. So yeah, and you're not missing any action. Let's see. But thank you for informing me. But so yeah, as I said, I would really like this bishop to go to e4. Either now, because white is already threatening some stuff like rook e8. So I would really like for Anna to blunt the e file here. And not allow any active possibilities. Now, there might be some other issues. There might be some ideas like rook f8, protecting this pawn, rook d8. The rook d8 I don't like that much anymore because rook e8. I wouldn't like a rook landing on e8. And Nordy's saying in chat, I can see why he goes for this. I can see why he goes for this if he has 15 moves to make and probably not a mass broken 5 minutes. Exactly, yeah. White is low on time here. I think he has like 6-7 minutes, something like that, maybe 5, and has to make 14 moves. So White is in deep time trouble. He has to make some quick decisions. Yeah, and Anna is pressing him on the clock basically. And chess.com is deleting my moves. Very nice. Okay. So now I have to remember what the moves were here. I don't know why chess.com auto refreshes after like 3 hours have passed or something. So what are the moves? I think that there was this rook g6 played here, right? So rook g6, rook e3, h5 and rook e1, right? This is the moves. This is the current position. Well, okay, so h5, but then what? After h4, White plays h3 and nothing happens. Yeah, I guess. I mean, there are some maybe problems with g3 square. I don't know. I quite don't see the point on h4 because even h4, I'm not sure the White cannot just take here. So it's really so went all or nothing, and okay, it does have some purpose. It does create a flight square for the king at h7 as well. So yeah, but I think she's more playing, you know, so that her opponent will flag or something. She can play knight e5 as knight f3 is pinned if rook e5, queen f3. Okay, so knight e5 is suggested by Eve, and it looks like an interesting move. So Jim Solver also mentioned that, I think, at some point. Knight e5, not quite. Knight e5, rook g2, queen g2. So knight e5, knight takes e5, rook g2, queen g2, bishop g2, right? And computer likes this for black. King g2. So what happened? Maybe knight g6, yeah, knight g6, knight e7. Ah, knight g6. Because I can't play queen g5 because of rook g3. So I would have to go back. Maybe do d6 or something. Or c7. I can't protect the rook though. Yeah, because knight e7 takes. There is rook e8 as well in the end. This is very strange. So okay, let's go. Queen d6. Knight e7. Oh, queen d6 was a blunder. Okay, that was the best move here. Maybe queen g5, yeah? Queen g5, rook g3, queen f6, knight e7. King h8. This is some weird shit. I don't know. Queen and queen. Yeah, we're down material here. I wouldn't go for this black. Don't know what the computer thinks, but this is very tactical, I would say. 95. I like that. Okay. Kind of zoned off for chat here. She is going for bishop e4. Okay, I like this move. This is safe and solid chess. Just blunting the e-file. No rook e8 business. No weird moves. I like bishop e4. Yeah, I think 95 is way too risky. I think it's a move that you have to calculate, but it's not that advisable because yeah, it's quite yeah. So bishop e4, bishop d3 suggested by Jim Solver. Let's go bishop d3. Okay, so White is threatening to take the bishop on e4. Maybe rook e8. Rook e8. Can White put more pressure? I mean, worst case, we can always bring this rook back. to e6. What is your idea, James Over? Queen e2, maybe? It doesn't feel like we're gonna lose this. Like worst case is gonna be a bunch of trades, unless I'm missing something. Maybe some knight move, like knight d2 could be interesting. But no, knight d2 rook takes g2. So yeah, I don't know. Bishop d3 is an interesting move though, because the bishop on b5 is not doing much, and he is playing it. Okay, bishop d3 is being played. Yeah, rook e8 I like, because the rook now has no function apart from, well, defending c6. c6 is not attacked anymore, so rook e8 is kind of automatic. Especially with their opponent in time trouble, I would play it immediately. I should not talk, says James Holver. That is suspicious. Okay, but I'll play rook e8 here. I think it's a sensible move. Rook e6 is bad right now, because bishop c4, yeah. So, yeah, exactly, yeah, okay. So we should only play rook e6. I see the problem, yeah. So if white puts too much pressure, we might be forced to play here, and then bishop c4. We would have to sacrifice the exchange. Yeah, I actually missed that. I missed that our bishop blocked the defense of the queen towards c4. So we have to be a bit careful here. Maybe rook e8 is not that automatic as I thought. Okay. You suggested 95, you didn't play this. I think 95 was a bit too crazy, right? I don't know. Okay, so let's see. So rook e8. White goes like queen e2, right? Put some more pressure. Okay, computer likes white here. Yeah, we can't play rook e6. Can we play 95? This looks very weird. Guess bishop b4, yeah, otherwise we take here. So bishop b4, f4. Rook e4 is bad because of knight f3. Knight e5. Rook e5, and the end of this line. Black is a pawn down. This is probably holdable, but not what we want, obviously. Okay, so yeah, I see the problem. Okay, so Anna didn't play rook e8. I think she played rook f8 instead here. So rook to f8. So her idea is different. She wants the f file to open. So she's saying, you know what? If you go for bishop e4, I take. You cannot take because I have queen f3. So this is the point. Let's see. How can we play here as white? This is a very complicated position. I really like that our opponent has like 6 minutes here, or even less. I think this is the perfect. This is the perfect timing for our opponent to go deep in time trouble here. Yeah, rook f8. She has some queen takes f3 ideas, I guess. Okay, opponent's taking on e4. You can see the bar is moving toward the black side. Okay, f takes e4 is being played. Opening up the f file, perhaps sacrificing a pawn. This is move 28 for white. White has less than 5 minutes, so he's in deep time trouble. And now rook takes e4 is a big blunder because of queen takes knight on f3, queen takes f3, rook takes f3. The rook on g6 is actually saving the day. I don't like this random h5. I wish this pawn was back on h7, but other than that, I really like our position and I really like our time advantage. So now, as Blue Boy is saying, knight to e5 is a huge threat, but also white has to get out of the pin. If white wins here, the move knight to d4. The queen is hanging. So white, I think white has to play queen check, king a7, and then knight d4. Something like that, right? This is probably the only move. And I really like that we have like 3 pieces looking at the white king here. I think we will have perfect attacking chances in a situation like this. Only move is queen a2, says Blue Boy. And also Eve on the YouTube chat. I'm still taking a note at the YouTube chat. So queen a2 is the only move. Will white find it? Probably he will, I think, because he realizes everything else is losing. But he is thinking. His time is dwindling down. He has less than 5 minutes. And let's see, he's grabbing his forehead. The second guessing his move. Let's see. Will he find queen a2? He's having second thoughts. He's playing king h1. So he's playing king to h1. And can we just take the knight? E takes f3. Hello? Isn't that just a free piece? What is his plan here? Have I missed something? Can we just win a piece? E takes f3. I mean, that's the only move, right? Otherwise, white just takes. So e takes f3 has to be played. What is white's idea here? Queen a2? No, just king h7. I don't understand king h1 at all. He probably missed the check. Anna grabs the horsey. And there we have it. So there it is, the justification of all this play. He takes with the rook immediately. So maybe he had some idea here. Ah! Oh, okay, I completely missed that. Queen back to b8. Okay, safe. And we're just a piece up. Okay, computer didn't like that. What? Oh, queen d6 maybe, okay. Queen d6 would probably better. But queen b8, defending the 8th rank. And queen d6 was also good, right? Surely. That was also good. Yeah, that was better. Okay. Queen b8 though. Okay, just clean defending the 8th rank. No rook e8 ideas, no. Not anything. We're just a clean piece up. And with one big blunder, Anna-Maja is suddenly completely winning here. And this is the power of putting your opponent in time pressure. This is, I think if Vlad was still in the chat, he would be really, really proud of Anna for playing this way. It's typical Vlad chess, this game. Playing fast all game, and your opponent just makes a completely inexplicable blunder in time traveling, you win. So she is putting her opponent under pressure, and he missed the fact that queen a2. This is a hard move to see though, because I bet this a3 was not made with the purpose of going queen a2. So it's kind of accidental that this move exists. He probably was banging a rook takes c4, but missed the fact that the queen can take on f3. I don't know. But king h1, I don't know. Like, black has a million moves here. Rook takes g2. Here? Oh! Oh, wow, yeah, rook takes g2. Crazy. Okay, that wins an additional pawn. Oh, so that's the top move of the engine. Okay, but wait, king takes. You don't have to take with a... You don't have to take with a rook, right? Queen to g4 check. And then like queen to g3, you take on f3, and queen g4, h g4, yeah, and we're still up a piece. Oh no, the cam is melting. Oh no. Oh no, guys. Rook g2 was too much for the cam. Okay, I hope it comes back, right? Surely. Hello? Hello? Oh god. Rook takes g2 was too much for the cam. Guys, what is this issue with the cam? It's melting again at the same time approximately as yesterday. That is true. It's been about 3 hours. Blame acted. Guys, it's not my fault. Oh my god. We might have to turn this out again. But I guess I'm expecting the opponent to resign quickly. So, we actually haven't missed much of the action. BlameChess.com. I mean, this was the position, right? Okay, let me clear things up again. Okay, Chess.com is having a huge lag right now. Rook takes f3 was played and Queen b8, right? Guys, we might have to wait again. I mean, this is a resignable position. So, yeah, I don't know. Okay, let me try and turn it off and on again. Maybe that will save it. Oh my god, okay, cam is melting again now. This is not like this moment. Oh, we're back to the gray screen. Do I still have the old layout for yesterday? I do. I will switch to that, I think. The problem is we will have to wait for moves now. Would it help if I take a walk to the hall? I don't mind, but still call anyway when it's done. I mean, the game will be over soon, I think. Like, she's up a piece. It's fine, we'll sacrifice camera for the win. So this camp can only take 3 hours, I guess, for some reason. I mean, it worked fine in round 2, which was more than 3 hours, right? So, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It did melt at one point earlier and it came back. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is the right time for a 15-minute dance. Okay, I'll change to the other layout. Oh, the other layout is also... No, I don't actually have it, because I used that for the call as well. Wait a minute. So let me go here. And just have the board open as well. Sorry, guys. Okay. We're just making this bigger. So I guess it's something like... The overlay was something like this, right? God. Camera keeps melting, man. GM Solver is leaving us. GM Solver only wanted to watch Anna's cam. Now that the cam is gone, he's leaving. But yeah, this is unfortunate. So it's not like you'll be able to see the position. I mean, can I say Queen d6? I mean, Queen d6 is also winning for black. Queen d6 is even more winning, I think. But just Queen b8 is a safeguarding. I mean, yeah, white has nothing here. As long as the rook is protected. Yeah, this is GG basically. I don't know what he missed. This looks like an unexplainable blunder. So yeah, I mean, white might as well resign there. Okay, what moves have we on the have actually been made on the? Let me take a refresh. Can I move back to the blunder? We'll refresh, and I will do that. Yeah, blunder in time pressure, exactly. So, oh, the chess.com is still at bishop e4. Okay, so it will take a while. Was it here? Yeah, so bishop e4, he played bishop d3. That is a good move, putting more pressure. Anna played rook to f8. Um, basically, um, putting some pressure here. And here their opponent took on e4, Anna took back with the f pawn. And here he had to find the only move of queen a2 check. So that's the only move. But he didn't find it. In time trouble, he played king to h1, and that just blunders a piece. He takes f3, rook takes f3, and queen b8. This is the last move we saw. Black is now completely winning. Like, black is just a full piece up, a piece for a pawn. Also completely ahead on the clock. I'm 100% confident Anna's gonna win this game. So yeah, at least we didn't miss much of the action, but it's kind of unfortunate that the cam died again. I guess, yeah, we'll have to see. Like, I'll ask her to change some settings or something. I don't know. But yeah, this game is basically over. Like, white basically has to resign. Like, we're just up a piece. I'm not a fan of people resigning early, but it's clear like white just blundered a piece, and white also has like half a minute on the clock, I bet. So it's going to be soon. I think that we will have the end of the game. Don't jinx it. I think I'm too confident that I won't jinx it. I trust Anna-Maja to convert up a piece against an 1800. For you, my feed has been lagging every minute or so. Maybe it's your problem. I don't know. Like my streams usually got laggy, but I don't see any problems in OBS. So I don't know. Queen c2 might be played to attack the other rook. I mean, yeah, but we have a billion consolidating moves or something. Like, we have like queen c2. I don't know what can we play. We can just go here, I guess. Rook gf6. I don't see a problem with that, so. Need new camera or a fan? Overheating, people are saying. Okay, so maybe it's overheating the camera, because it does happen after 3 hours. So Anna Kramling's opponent resigned in a drawish position and was not even the endgame. Really? I mean, that's good for Anna, but funny, I guess. Rook takes f3 would blunder? Not really, but why would you complicate the position? Yeah, I mean, just protect everything. No need to... When you're up a piece, when you're completely winning, there is no need to complicate. You just put all of your pieces in protected squares and make trades. And this is how you win the game, nice and simple. On the cam, it seems he played rook gf6. How did you see that, DevMate? You missed some actions. How do we win a full piece? We sacrifice the cam for a piece. So how did we win a full piece? Let's go by a few moves. So we had this position. As I suggested, he played the move bishop e4, blunting the e file down. Opponent played bishop d3. We end rook f8. And here, opponent took on e4, we took back with the pawn. The idea being rook takes f4, queen takes f3, wins a piece. The opponent's only move was queen a2 check, which he missed, and he went king h1, which just loses the horseshoe on f3. He took on f3, and we just went back to b8. And I think this is the last move we see. Now, DevMate says he went rook gf6. I don't know which position he means. He has to tell me white moves as well, if he wants me to make that. The live board is catching up with us, I think, shortly. Yeah, he missed queen a2, basically. As I missed queen a2, you see? Yeah, and I think, yeah, Anna just took the camera away, so I guess her game has ended. I guess she won. I am going to go into a call with her soon. So we won't keep you waiting for too long, guys. So let me put my headphones in for this, because I 10 pixels was nitpicking about the sound quality yesterday, so we'll do this in the proper way. So I'm gonna turn the headphones there, do this, turn this up, make room for Anna, who will join us shortly, and let's go. Okay, let me rearrange some stuff here. You also see her on the cam, but the cam is not active anymore though. Okay. So I'm sure she will shortly be here with us. Okay. Sarah is red, not pink. I'm pretty sure it's pink. She doesn't believe that the cam melted again. Anna Crumling's opponent had only one drawing move when he resigned. I guess Nathan Hunter should have found it, but still it happens. Yeah, I guess there are some people that resign too early. Both Anna's won, Andreas winning, Dina winning probably, also Alex won. Yeah, I guess. We can see the DMs, and they're not that private. Okay, let me call her. See if we can get her on stream.
Hello.
Hello.
Wait. Sorry, I was distracted.
It's okay.
Hello.
It's okay.
Yeah, sorry. Someone said hi and like asked for a selfie. And I was like, oh no, I
Okay.
have to like catch the stream. Let me see. Let me open Discord.
Problems of being famous, I guess.
Oh come on. Wait, wrong thing. Let me flip this. Okay, I think this should be good.
Yeah.
Oh no, it keeps flipping by itself. Wait. Okay, is this? Wait. Yeah, this is good. Okay, I'll go down a little. Hello.
Hello.
That was a disaster, wasn't it?
The game? I mean, you were worse the entire game until he played King H1. So,
until what?
Until he played King H1 and blundered a piece.
Until which move?
Until he played King H1 and blundered
King
a piece.
H1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess.
Oh my god, that was such a bad game.
I guess you just were playing against his clock, right? So he was really low on time, so he was
He spent so much time in the game that I thought, yeah, I have to play on the clock.
Yeah.
Also, what's funny, my editor, before the rounds, like when the pairings come out, he makes like an overlay for the recaps, right? So he needs to like search my opponent's name and like search the picture and everything for the overlay. And he told me like he found his chess.com profile. I didn't even bother to look that up, you know. So then he was like, yeah, he is 1800 blitz. Like you should get him in time trouble.
Okay. Did you know
And I was
he?
like, okay, so you want me,
Did
you
you know
want me
he
to play
played
blitz,
London?
you know?
Yeah, you played like
Yeah,
quite like Vlad, I would say. This is Vlad wins usually.
really.
I mean, he's just worse than
I
all
have
the
no
other
idea how to
opponents.
play this.
The
I
opening,
have
yeah.
no idea how to play this. I don't know. I prepared this line with knight h5, but there's so many different sidelines. There's a difference between bishop d3 and knight b2, and I just don't know what I'm doing.
Okay. Yeah,
I didn't
it's
have enough time to check all the lines. It's too much.
it looked a bit strange. I don't know. It looked like you were losing the thread in the opening, but then you found it back after f5.
Yeah, this is a signature Anna-Maja. But yeah, it was really bad.
Uh,
That he just had to trade pieces at some point. Like it's just either draw or he has winning chances.
so did you see the only move to save your opponent that he missed?
The only move he had
Yeah,
instead of king h1, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah. He didn't have to give away the piece. Wait. Instead of king h1, did he have check queen a2?
Yeah, queen a2 is like the only good move.
Wait, king h7. Oh my!
And
I
he just
saw
moves the
that move, a
knights.
move later. Oh my god!
Yeah, so
And he's just winning my pawn.
not really, because you have some counterplay, but the position is like equal. When he goes knight
Oh my
d4, you take
god!
it. There is c takes d4. There's some trades. Probably a draw, I would say. Maybe he wins a pawn, but still hold the blame game.
No way! I saw queen a2 a move later. I was like, oh, there's a check. I need to be careful. But how did I not think about this earlier? Oh my.
Wait, you saw queen a2 after you won a piece already?
Yeah.
Okay. But then it was completely winning, like no matter what he played.
Oh my god. No, this was so bad. Like, I missed knight c4. Oh, yeah, sorry. Have to move, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, I don't remember which bottle is mine. I lost my bottle. I have to move, sorry. I was sitting at a high table, you know? But, okay, whatever, I'll just hold it like this. But yeah, that was quite a disaster game, huh? But yeah, I was going to say this knight c4. I have fallen for this way too many times, and I keep falling for it.
Oh. I mean, maybe bishop d6, you should have gone all the way back to f8, but yeah, I don't know.
Really? Not bishop e7?
Bishop e7 is b5. It's a bit strange. Because he's attacking your knight, you have to move the knight, and then bishop take e7, you have to take with the king. It's a bit strange.
Yeah. Oh my god, so terrible. No, I don't know what was going on. I even did like a lot of puzzle rushes today because I was like my tactics are like so off all of a sudden, and today I'm still like I still don't know any tactics. Like I miss everything. Oh my god.
I mean, at least
No.
you practice good time management, so that's something that's going good for you.
I mean, it helps when your opponent just spends a lot of time, and then you're like, okay, like just play moves that don't blunder a piece, you know.
Yeah, but he found some good
And at some
moves.
point,
Like for a London player, he played very actively. That was my impression. He put some
yeah,
pressure. Yeah.
yeah. He was not. He didn't want to trade pieces. I mean, he could have got an easy draw if he wanted to, but he was really like fighting, and it was, well, it helped for me, but it could have gone really wrong for me for sure. I'm so glad it's over.
By the way, yeah, what was the idea of h5? Because we didn't understand it.
So I was going to play h6, but I was like, why not h5? You know, like threaten something. Maybe he plays knight h4. I don't know. Because knight h4, queen takes h4, right? But after rook h3, it didn't work anymore.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But so you
But
can't
yeah, I
play
just wanted
h4,
to.
right? You can't play h4 then. He takes it, right? After like rook e3, plays
Yeah,
rook.
true. So I was like, oh, dang it.
So just to make him think, I guess, a little bit how to prevent h4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't see the issue with like h5 compared to h6. I was like, I have to like take some risks here. Like if I just play h6 and very slow, he's the one that's winning. So I have to like try to confuse him somehow. And I thought h5 was like a crazy move that maybe, scares him. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
This was a game of psychology, not chess anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes you have to, use other tricks than chess to be a good player.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, chat, that you want to ask about?
Everything else, yeah, sorry for so much noise here, guys. It's very crowded. I'm going to a more quiet place. Yes. Yes.
People are.
And here's no chessboard, so they can't kick me out of here.
Sometimes you need to
And
use the
even
depth there. Okay.
yes. Oh, I don't have to hold the phone anymore. My blouse is pink, of course. Of
Oh,
course.
you do see the chat. Okay. Then I don't have to.
Yeah, I
To be
just
the
opened
middleman.
it. Ah, I'm not sure if I'm playing in Blitz tonight. I don't know. I'm glad that I'm finished somewhat early, but I don't know. Should I play? I haven't been able to rest. Like yesterday was so crazy. I don't know. I was recording my recap like 10:30 p.m. here in this building.
That's crazy.
Yeah, let me tell you the story. So after my game, it was like 9:30 or something, right? Like I was done pretty late, and also like after analysis and everything, it took quite a long time to finish. So I'm setting up for my recap, and then all of a sudden Zach comes in, and he's like, "Come, let's have some dinner." And I'm like, I'm fine. Like I don't. I'll just get something. Like I brought noodles the other day, so I'll just have that as dinner, I guess. He was like, no, come join me. Um, and yeah, I was like, you know what, fine. And we went like on a hunt. He got those coupons or something. So he was like, come, let's have dinner with those. And then yeah, we were looking for places to eat. There's like a few choices we have, but all of them were closed. The kitchen was closed, that is. So like we wasted so much time on this, and then we got back and we were like, okay, let's just record the recap because the building is closing at 11. So we went upstairs because that's like quiet zone. Well, at 10 p.m., some concert finished and hundreds of people got out, and then it was chaos. It was so loud, and I was like, I can't record the recap here. Then, after a few minutes, we got kicked out of there. So we had to go all the way downstairs, back where this tournament is held. And I was like, you know what? There's an analysis room. Nobody's there. I'm just going in there because there was still one game going on for like 7 hours or something. So everyone was like waiting for that. But I went into the analysis room and just recorded everything there. And I left the building at 11. So yeah, and also Zach like recorded his recap outside or something. So that was really crazy. And yeah,
Okay.
a lot of things happened yesterday.
What time was the volcano thing? Was that in the morning or?
I have no idea. It was funny. There was one game going on, right? So they had this big screen, and they had the live feed as well of the volcano.
Yes, that must be interesting. I don't know. People were asking like all the time, like, are the Prails safe because of the volcano, or are they okay? Is anything happening? But yeah, I guess it's just a fun thing to
I
see.
don't know. You just see like some red light in the sky. Not anymore as of now, but yesterday, like evening, was the sky was red. It was really cool. I took some picture of it. It was it's pretty crazy, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really like realize this or something. It's like, oh, you just see like a red color in the sky. Like you don't really like notice anything. I don't know.
Classic
But
chess
like Jack was
players.
going absolutely crazy. What did you say?
Classic chess players. They only care about chess. They don't.
Actually, yeah. I don't know. But like I've been telling people about this. They're like, "Oh my god, that's so cool," and stuff. And I'm like, "Oh, really?" Maybe it's cool if I'm there, but if like it's so far away, then yeah. But yeah, it's not well, not here, and I believe all the roads towards it are closed, so you can't even go there. Sad.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, lad.
We have to figure out with the camera though, because it keeps melting like after 3 hours. So it's only lasts 3 hours for some reason. I don't know. Why is that?
I don't know either. Maybe I should try to use my other phone, or I don't know.
But okay, we'll just. I guess we'll figure it out before next round.
Yeah, next round 9 a.m. the local time. Great, fantastic. Oh, why do I have to do the blitz before a 9 a.m. round? I don't understand the logic. What is this logic?
Do they have a morning blitz?
No. So we have tonight blitz.
Ah, okay. Are you
And
playing?
then the next thing with 9 a.m. round. Like, why?
Are you playing?
What is the logic? I don't know. I don't know if I should.
I guess you should rest for the double round, my opinion. Like, okay, if you want to do content and film it or something, I don't know. But as a chess player, I wouldn't play. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to play. The thing is that the past few days have been so like tiring, and this is like the first day that I can be like, whew, I can rest. Because it's also been really difficult to get food here. It's very expensive, and yeah, so busy everywhere. There's 400 people playing here, and then there's only people that are looking for food every day, and then you have others that are also going to restaurants.
Yeah, and they're also closing, I guess, quite soon. So
yeah, all the kitchens close 10 or 9:30 even. So yeah.
Classic, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm so happy I won this game. I think I was going to throw up if I wouldn't win this one.
At least you get white next time. I think you played better with white. You have to realize.
I usually play better with black, but with my French. Where is my French?
And people are avoiding it, so they're playing all kinds of weird things.
Yeah, you're playing those solid openings that I just can't crack.
Next opening course would be black against d4, maybe? I don't know.
I have the course, but it's so big. It's so big. I think it has like 1,000 variations.
Okay.
I should go through it. Maybe on stream. I don't know. But it's really useful. If you like understand it, I think it's like very, very good. But the problem is that it has so many different lines. Like one small mistake and you're lost. It's like in this game. I don't know what my 9 was doing on h5. I don't know.
Yeah, it looked a bit weird, I don't know.
No, but I remember 9 h5, but maybe I should have taken on d4 first. Maybe just bishop e7 instead of queen b6. I don't know. Because with bishop d3, you can play queen b6, but here, there's no queen takes b2, I guess. I didn't like it, so.
Is f6 ever a move after bishop g5? I've seen this like
I
f6, g6, knight g7, knight f5, but I'm not sure it's in this position.
Yeah, I was thinking of h6, g5 ideas, and then you can maneuver the knight if you want to, but I don't remember this. I have to look it up. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay, I guess. Result is what matters. We go next.
Chat, I can see you, okay? I can see you. Gossip about me. There's a chance that you might get a streamer. At this point, I'm kind of like excited for it. That's just too funny. But I saw that Alex won. I think we have the same amount of points. I don't know. I think because of does the accelerated pairing system change at some point, or is it always?
I have no idea. Maybe Vlad can tell us, or some arbiter in chat, maybe. That can tell us.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't really care enough to ask.
You played someone with 2 points, right? So he had more points than you, but somehow you got like half a point. Yeah, I don't know. So I think after round 5 it should go. But I'm not sure about round. Yeah, so next round is round 5. So yeah, I think next round it should go, but don't take me for granted.
Yeah, okay. I don't really care enough to like look into it. I'll just see the pairing and we'll go from there.
Yeah, as always,
yeah. Yeah, Sierra Brother would indeed be really cool, yeah. 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 Oh well. Not very long game. Fortunately, I less than 4 hours. I take it as a win. Oh, Matthew, thank you for gifting 2 stars. Thank you. Thanks so much for 2 rounds tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you. I needed my last 2 rounds were bad. Oh, but yeah. Let's get some rest. Thank you so much for commentating, actor. Thank you. And thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much. I'm going to get some rest. I'm going to get food first and then recap. And then we'll see what happens.
Yep, sounds
Yeah.
good. Sounds good. See you.
Make sure to watch the recap, guys.
Yeah.
Of yesterday.
I have
Was
to watch.
really.
I have to watch the recap as well because I wasn't home when it was posted.
I know. Just before the round, I was able to upload it. So it was like I planned it, and then I was like, yeah. Then I was able to get it live, you know. So it was a little bit hectic this morning as well with that. But yeah, it was also quite a long one, and I tried to like go through it quickly. It was difficult. Too much happened. Anyway, take care, guys. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, and yeah, hope for the best in the next double round. Bye bye.
Okay, guys. Thank you for watching as well, and yeah, mods you can rate whoever you want. And yeah, take care. See you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central European time. So yeah, tomorrow is double round as was yesterday. So yeah, see you there. Bye, guys.